Yep, we are live. Hello, everyone. Hello, Magpie Army. Can someone in the chat let me know if I'm nice and loud and clear? That'll help going forward. Welcome, everyone, to another season of Collingwood footy. Must say, after we finished the season off last year, wasn't too optimistic about the the next year. But I'll tell you what, with a lot of chat going around, I've been watching a lot of the other creators and on the forums and stuff like that. And I'll tell you what, the optimism's starting to come back. But the last couple of days, all I'm hearing is injury after injury. So doesn't look like Bo McCreary's going to be okay for the first round, but we'll see how we go. Hello, everyone in the chat. Oh, look at the usual suspects: Voidoid and Stefanos, Rick, Jamel. Thanks for joining us, guys. Hopefully, we can get ultimate greatness. And as I speak, he has just joined in, so I'll get him on. Ultimate greatness. How are you, pal?
I'm doing all right. It's about time this off season ended, so yeah,
Yeah,
we are back at it.
I know, man. I know. I'll tell you what, it's only about a month and a half away, isn't it? Jeez. Um,
Well, I mean, practice matches would only be 3 weeks away, so
yeah,
yeah, that's
and
crazy.
yeah, great to hear from you, man. I'll just ask you one by one quickly. How was your Sean? How was your off season, mate?
Yeah, off season was pretty good. Just doing the finishing touches of moving house. So got a bit of a basic sort of setup with my PC at the moment, which is what I'm currently on, but yeah, hopefully the next few days I'll get everything set up with everything ready to go. Um, and yeah, once I do all that, hint, I might be doing something in the future. So keep an eye
All
out.
right.
But
Now you used to. I
yeah,
remember back in the day, you used to do something regularly.
yeah,
So we're looking at something again this year.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I definitely want to attend more training sessions and stuff. Just
Mm.
yeah, the last yeah. Oh, it's probably a conversation that's not going to be 20 seconds, so I'll probably leave for another day. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been
Yep.
I think 2 years now. It was like
Yep.
yeah, not last preseason, but the preseason before was the last one I covered. It was going really well, and yeah, had some setbacks and some things that took a lot longer than it probably should have, and yeah, but now everything's like it's not completely stable yet, but it's getting pretty close. So once that's all done, then yeah, I'll basically be back as if I never left, and hopefully with even more stuff. So hopefully it's a lot better than before.
Good man. Good man. Look forward to it, man. Your knowledge, man, of all the stuff that's going on, mate. It's absolutely impeccable, man.
I'll try.
Um, Mr. Kevin, how are you,
Oh,
pal?
I'm good, mate.
How's
How are you?
good, man? How's your off season been? All right.
Yeah, pretty good. Been training and watched Collingwood train as well during the off season, and yeah, just trying to get as healthy as I possibly can for basketball and keep working on that. Um,
Mm.
but a few challenges up and coming, but should be able to take care of it, no doubt.
No worries, man. That's the thing, mate. Life throws shit at you, man, but you just fucking get on with it, mate.
100%.
Um, Mickles, how are you, pal?
Hey, not bad, not bad. How about you, man?
Good, man. How was your off season, pal?
Yeah, like it's been a roller coaster because I had between work and just like keeping my head down, waiting for AFL season to start soon. Just been watching the NBA, and my
Mm.
God, speaking of what happened with us during the last season, it's kind of now plagued into my NBA team being Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
and they're just riddled with injuries. Like more than half the starters just gone to injuries. Jokic, big
Yeah.
one, and we're still somehow top three in the comp.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hope it's also something that could translate into Collingwood, because the one thing I noticed that at least Denver has, and even though it's NBA and AFL, two different sports, they at least showed depth, and I
Yeah.
hope to see that with Collingwood soon this year.
Yeah. Just a quick one. With the NBA, like with me, with American sports, I just New York. That's my favorite city. So I just go for all the New York teams. So how are the Knicks
New York
going this
Knicks.
year?
New York Knicks are doing really well. I mean,
Are
they've
they?
had some off games, but they're second best in the Eastern Conference.
All right, beautiful.
So they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I'm a Heat supporter. So at the moment, I think the Knicks are in, because with Giannis, he's definitely gone from the Bucks. So it's just a matter of who gets him. So I'm pretty sure it's a Knicks Heat. I think Warriors are even interested as well. I mean, I'd imagine
Yeah.
every club would be interested because I mean, dude's just a freak all round. I mean, yeah, they don't call him the Greek freak for nothing, but
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's one. I mean, I'm not confident that we'll get him because I'm a Heat supporter, so I'm used to, it's yeah, the Heat are a type of club where it's like we're basically linked to everybody, but then we get nobody. Like we're kind of like Collingwood in the trade period, ironically. We're always linked to players, and then there's like, oh, this guy's got to come because
And then never
this guy.
happened.
Yeah, and it never happens. It's like oh, there's this guy said something on Instagram and. Like at the moment for Giannis, apparently some like family members, some of his family members had like a photo or a video on their Instagram, and like multiple family members did it, and it had him in like the Heat arena, like just randomly they just put out a video where he was like doing I think he was just in the crowd or something. So it was like
yeah. Who does he play for now? Milwaukee.
Yeah, the Bucks.
Yeah.
But
well, I'll put it this way, man. You'd rather be living in New York or Miami, mate, rather than Milwaukee, mate.
Well, it's more so he wants to be on a winning team now, because after their premiership, after their premiership win, they kind of dipped, and now he's kind of in a pit where none of his teammates want to win. They don't feel like winning anymore, so they're just not trying, and he can see that, and he wants out of it. So, yeah.
All right, welcome to the NBA show.
Yeah.
The NBA.
Oh man, my off season. I'm a massive cricket fan, and we smashed the fucking the Palms. We smashed the Palms, but I'll tell you what, it was a bit underwhelming, man. I wanted to see a lot of the matches finished pretty quickly, and it was just not like the quality of cricket was not like of the past, and that's just how it is, man. I just can't wait for the footy season now. And I'll tell you what, with the Pies, man, you look at the history, man. We've gone into seasons where I haven't felt good, and we've just surprised. Like Flyers' first year, I remember that year thinking, mate, we'll struggle to finish in the top 8. And I'll tell you what, we nearly won the flag in that first year, man. We were just an umpire's fucking brain fade away from making the granny, and who knows what would have happened, mate, in that granny, because Sydney didn't even show up in that game. Going into seasons, it's weird, mate. And I've gone, and other seasons I've gone really confident, and we've shit the bed. So, So with the structure of the show tonight, I'm thinking I've got this Zero Hanger app up, and I reckon we just one by one just go through who we want in our best team, and as we choose an individual player, we'll just chuck them on. And if we go off to talking about going to other tangents, so be it, man. That's been the story of my streams, man. We just talk away whatever's interesting. We'll talk about the injuries. We'll talk about our new draft recruits. Really interested in talking about these guys. Which one do we think is going to make it? So yeah, how's that sound?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. All right. So I've got this. Yeah. Feel free. Look, I'm going to ramble on, guys. Feel free to butt in whenever you want, and anyone in the chat want to jump on, just I had the link up there. I'll put it up right now again, and feel free. Anyone's welcome. It's not the season yet, so I don't think we're going to get any trolls. So we'll be able to talk properly. Yeah. All right. So I've got the thing up there. I reckon I'm gonna. Our first pick is obviously the golden boy, Mr. Nick Dacos. So I'm just gonna slot him into that first midfield spot. There he is.
That's a pretty bold call, that.
He's the first picked, mate. If you go through our team, he's the one, mate. And I'll just put it out there. I reckon he should have been captaining this year. He's young enough to. It's okay not to give him the captaincy this year, but I reckon we should have just bitten the bullet and just given it to him. And you never know. Darcy Moore's looking like he's fucking injured again, and you never know. He might miss a few games, and Nick will get a lot more opportunities this year.
Mhm.
Now, Nick Dacos, the golden boy, the special one of our team. What are we expecting this year? Like a lot of people outside the club say, "Oh, he has he's not winning any Brownlows." A lot of people think he's overrated. He's every year he's played, he's been exceptional. Even when I will admit as well, I don't think he's the best player in the comp. Do you guys disagree with me there? Like a lot of people just say that it's a given he's the best player in the comp. I don't know, man. Whoever wants to go, come in.
I think he's one of the best players in the competition. Like his ability to run all day, and also the way that he kicks the footy as well. Like it's very elite stuff. He rarely turns it over, and if he does, then you know what you're going to get out of Nick Dacos week in, week out. But I do think he's better than some players, like your Rankins and all that type of players that, he doesn't get as injured as much. He has these high standards of when I'm training, I want to be the best trainer, and you see that when he's training, and also when he plays as well. Like it's always good to see him, wanting to be, the best athlete that he possibly can. I think.
Yeah. Have you've been to a few training sessions this preseason, Kev? Have you?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
And how's he looking?
He's been looking really good. He's been wearing number 5 a fair bit too. So he's been wearing number 5 for the Blacks and also for the Whites, and just his ability to kick the footy and able to to use his voice and show that leadership.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Darcy gets tapped on the shoulder and say, "Mate, I think it's time to pack in for the captaincy. We'll give it to Nick because obviously that the Tasmania stuff is coming up soon, and I think that he's the player that we can't afford to lose."
Yeah. Do you actually think he'd go to Tasmania?
Look, I wouldn't begrudge him if he went. Personally, I don't think he will. I think he'll stay. I think he's too much of a, the Collingwood's name is at Dacos. You're not going to see like a Cripps leaving Carlton or a Welsh leaving Carlton. It's installed in that club. And would you want to go to a team like Tasmania where you're not playing in front of sellout crowds week in, week out? Especially when it's maybe 40,000 or wherever the crowd attendance is going to be. But at least when you're at the G, you're in front of 70, 80,000 Collingwood fans.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think that he'll stay because it's the biggest club. If Tasmania were to be successful, nothing's a guarantee that Tassie will even be great. It could take him as much time as it did with the Gold Coast Suns in GWS, really.
yeah,
I will put this out there though when it comes to like Nick, because I was just brainstorming just then in terms of what would the scenario be if he was to leave. Straight away, my head went to maybe like the Gary Ablett situation, where I felt like he was sort of at the club to the point where the narrative of his dad always being around, I think he wanted to sort of escape that noise a bit.
yeah,
There is a little bit of that with Nick in terms of like I think it's mainly like media driven and stuff, and I think Peter has a great shoulder on a great head on his shoulders, and I think he also educates Nick in the right way in terms of like how to go through things on an AFL aspect. But I don't know, maybe if he wants to step out of the shadow and like he wants to be his own person at his own club, I could probably see that potentially happening. But outside of that, like, I mean, it would be a shock either way. But again, just trying to think of a way that it would make sense. That would be probably the thing I would like. I would probably lean towards.
The one thing I will say, I think this whole Nick Dacos following the Tasmania Devils team, there was another player that got mentioned, I think it's from Hawthorn, that also follow them, and I think it's, for me, like, the narrative is, is Nick Dacos is leaving Collingwood to go to Tasmania because he follows them on Instagram. Like, I'm pretty sure there's other players that follow teams, and it doesn't always mean that they're going to go there. I think it's all media driven when it comes to that, especially on social media.
yeah. The
Do
thing
we
with
think
Nick
also
this
Peter
year,
plays the factor in it though? Like, do we think when it comes to Peter, he'll be the one like keeping Nick there as well? Because I think there will be a sense of like wanting to be a one club player. I feel like, I mean, in the NBA, I don't think it's obviously as much of a big deal, but I think it's a lot more of a. I think a lot of players when it comes to AFL, they pride themselves on being like a one club player a lot more. And I think with Peter and stuff, I think he'll be instilling that into Nick. But again, as I said, like with that, if that scenario was to ever pay off, like we're talking like 2% if it happens. But yeah, that's really the only thing I can really see is if he just wants to be his own person without being under the shadow of like his dad Peter. But yeah, I think it'd be really. Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. Just in the comment with Josh as well, Perryman and Howe both are following the Tassie team on Twitter as well. So yeah, I mean, obviously, that's where the argument sort of falls apart because it's just the media trying to jump on something, and whenever it's especially when it comes to Nick, the media will be any percentage of a scenario where Nick goes to another team, the media will be all over it like a seagull on a hot chip. So, regardless on how much sense it makes, they'll still be jumping on it anyway.
yeah. I reckon with Nick this year, he needs a quality bull midfielder next to him for the majority of the season. And I'm talking about an informed bull midfielder. So we need either Geordie to have an unprecedented season where he plays nearly every game and he's fit and firing in most games, running alongside Nick, or Ned Long, just actually taking his development one step up, and just being that sidekick to allow Nick to flourish. And that's my slight pessimism for this year. I'm just thinking, man, all our oldies are 1 year older, and we really need a step up from a large group of players to, to really do something this year. We need, yeah, like an improvement from like a big group of players. And I'll tell you what, it can happen. Things happen. We might tweak our game plan, and we'll see what happens. Go on. Yep.
I mean, I was gonna say, in order, I think for Nick to really bolster up, I think he does need to take a bit more. I don't know if it's between either a bit more leadership initiative, if he is, or if we do agree that he is going to be the next captain of Darcy, he kind of also does need to step up a little bit more. But in saying so, yeah, we know that his game, he averages between 28 to 30 disposals and so forth. The kid plays really well. But if I think we've noticed a little trend, because I don't know if you mentioned a point with Ned Long, who kind of tagged along with him. Last year, in the first half of the season, Nick and Ned Long were like the named unstoppable duo, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't until the second half of the season Ned was picked out and he wasn't as influential as he used to be. And then Nick, I'm not saying he dipped, but he kind of started to not be as impactful towards in the game. So
Yeah.
I would like to see maybe Nick, because if we take a look at also who won the Brownlow, as much as, I don't think really Matt Rowell did deserve it, he maybe needs to start taking a little bit of pages from other players who've impacted what is it, their teams a lot. Like, for example, the Ashcroft brothers, who are constantly compared to the Dacos brothers.
Yeah.
They've been very influential, especially in that grand final. And that's what made one of the Ashcroft win. What was it? The
North Smith medal.
The Norm Smith medal, and then also part of that premiership run. So if we're to get back on track with that, I mean, of course, this is a team lift that needs to happen as well. Everyone has to pick up their weight, but if Nick has to do something, he kind of needs to provide a little bit more support. And I noticed in especially one of the games, specifically, I think it was a Fremantle game we played, and we didn't play a good enough game. Nick tends to not play too well when he gets emotional. Because I noticed there was a few punches he's landed on one players, and I thought, oh, dear, Nick. Like, I know you're getting heated in that game, but, now's not the time to get fired. And he's still young, so that makes sense. But I would like to see a little bit more mature, kind of a bit more like Pendles.
Well, yeah, it is interesting because if we have a look at like Geordie, for example, we know that he was injured for pretty much most of the season, and then when he was able to play, like he was able to do okay. But I do think that we need more than two. I think we need more than Ned Long. I think we need Geordie in there. Potentially might have to put Josh Dacos in there as well to try and help Nick out. So therefore, it makes it harder for teams to really tag, because if Nick is having 15 disposals per game, you know that Geordie's going to have 25, Ned Long 23, Josh Dacos 28. So it does you want to make it difficult for these teams to tag, like, to be, unpredictable in a way. And I think that we can do that. But is Geordie really the answer? I don't know. He's been too injury prone, in my opinion. But he has been looking good at preseason training.
I think it will be a combination and a rotation probably to spice it up. So this way, and I think Rick's mentioned a good point. Unlike every other player, Nick is getting tagged every week, right? And that's like the focus of every club. Tag Nick Dacos, you shut down Collingwood, right? So yeah, he does need quality help. I agree with that. And Ned Long was that for the first half season, but he dipped. So maybe rotate Ned between some players. You could throw in Geordie in one game. Then the next game you could throw in someone else. But these players who will be with him need to be quality. They need to be fit to like. Pardon me if I'm having to bring up that phrase again. What is it? Craig's mantra: fit to perform, not fit to fucking play. Perform.
Yeah.
So,
But I'll tell you what, Fly was saying that, but I'll tell you what, I reckon there was a couple of instances last year where that I reckon he didn't go with that. Like look, I know the situations at the time required us to choose players that weren't ready, but yeah.
you
Anyway,
you could tell Fly in that instance last year. He also got a lot of emotion out there, and that's why he was responding in the way he was. Trying all these things, and it didn't seem characteristic of him. Like the Fly I knew from 2023 was very different from this one.
yeah,
There were some instances where he was like that, and that's what got us close to the Premiership. But what we didn't get close enough was probably the immense pressure that he caved in, and therefore, like there were mistakes that was like we wouldn't normally make that. Fucking yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
I
right.
mean,
think it's also the hunger side of it too. Like, you think the hunger compared to the first half of the season to the second half of the season was like we were in cruise control a little bit, or do you think that this year the hunger has to be there 23, 24 rounds a season plus finals?
I mean,
Yeah.
I would say that's on Fly, to be honest, because I think that's his job to be. Because I think at the end of the day, like you're gonna have, like it's natural, you're gonna have players that are going to be more hungrier. Like you're gonna have players that are going to be at a certain level of hungriness, if that's even a word. But that's on Fly to be like, okay, well, we need someone to have an appetite for the contest, and if they don't have it, or if they're just not good enough, like Fly needs to like step in and make those moves. I mean, I do like the idea of like having some like having players in the side if they're just like if they're not having bad games but they're doing enough. But at the same time, like you also need to, I mean, especially in the first half of the season, like we should be having like 3, 4 guys that are sort of, I don't know if they're not up to the level, but like you sort of need to have a few guys that are sort of lukewarm in terms of talent, but then with more development, they're going to get more confident. They're going to grow their talent like as they sort of move along. You need, I feel like 3 or 4 of those guys at the very least, like round 1 or round 0, whichever round we play, and then have them for like 6 games and see sort of how they adapt to it. Because I mean, I'm this is a little bit off topic, at least in the Collingwood sense, but I'm really excited to see what Finn does this season at West Coast. Because I'm so certain. I know he probably won't excel straight away. Like he'll probably take a bit of time, but I'd be really. I would really be keen to be watching the second half of West Coast this season where he's playing in that midfield and he's winning ball because the kid can play, but I think at the end of the day, I don't even think we even come close to understanding and realizing the mental and emotional aspect that this game provides and the standards in that sense that we really don't even take into account where players can drop in form, but it could be because of certain things like happening or so Finn's obviously one I'll be watching on a West Coast's point of view, but yeah, it's also again like we're trying to do this like transition where we've got all these like kids coming through. But yeah, if we're only going to be playing him for 1 or 2 games and we go, oh well, they've had 2 bad games, we'll just drop them to the VFL. They need like 5, 6 games, and that's at the very least. And when you get them in the first half of the season, Obviously, you'll have some teams that'll be playing harder than others, but that's where you take some gambles. And if you look like that's where I think I've been saying for a while now. For the first half of the season, as long as you're not under a 40% like win loss rate, you can always make that up in the back end.
Yeah.
So as long as you've got that, as long as you're in that 40 to 45%, like take some risks, like play some kids, because at the end of the day, you're only gonna like you'll only know if they're good enough until you play them. You know, was plenty of guys. I mean, I've backed in these kids for at least definitely last year. I thought a lot of them were ready. Even the year before, we definitely had a few that probably should have played or at least played more games than they did. Yeah, I just think Fly's just too safe, and it's I just don't think he gives enough opportunities. Like, we had plenty of players that were literally going into games underdone, but then we kept making excuses for them. It was a Void ended up he ended up mentioning Checkers. I mean, he's an infamous one where he would literally do training while being injured, but he would still be putting his hand up for a game, and that's not his fault. That's not Checkers' fault. In isolation, that's the selection committee. But the fact that we were putting Checkers in that position and then playing him on top of it, like, I think that comes down to Fly. That comes down to anyone that was a part of having the selection and picking him each week. Because, if you're underdone, we've got the quota that we had for kids that were ready to go, but like you need to give them 8-10 games just so that not only you then see them at senior level, so you see how they go, but you've also got to give them that time because, I mean, Ed Allen played, I don't know how many games he played, but anywhere between 10 to 12. He had a significant improvement, at least in my opinion. You can even see by his confidence, his attitude. When he got those games consistently, and it was like, because the last thing you want is for these kids going into games and they end up making a mistake and they go, oh, damn, okay, now I'm playing VFL next week because I screwed up. We need to, I mean, I can even go back to 2022 where that was literally like the whole point of that season where Fly was saying, if we make mistakes, that's fine. Like, make the mistakes, because when you make the mistakes, you know what's wrong. And then when you know what's wrong, you then know what to fix. So I don't know why we sort of went away from that sort of intent, because with a lot of these kids that are playing and they make the mistakes, on one hand, I remember I know I've mentioned him again, but like I know Finn, when he played that North Melbourne game and he got subbed out, I think it was like halfway through the second quarter because his disposal efficiency was absolutely shocking. I think it probably did him more damage, him playing and being subbed out halfway through the second quarter, because no one gets subbed out like that.
That's a big statement call. That
and it's like, what is that? What message does that then send to Finn? Because there's no positive. Because I mean, Fly can come out and say, "Oh, but we're looking after him and stuff," and he just just wasn't his day, blah blah. But at the end of the day, Finn's not going to take it like that, or whoever player that is. Like at the end, because I don't know if you guys have played footy or any sports like locally and stuff, but if you're having a bad game, like you sort of need to know that everything's okay. I mean, you do have your players; they do need to kick up the arse, and there's like all those scenarios as well. But I think it also gets lost on sometimes players also need to feel loved, and I think you obviously need both of those in your skill base as a coach, but also it's I think even when you look at like a Mick Moldhouse, I think one of the best things about Mick was that he wasn't Mick Moldhouse to the group. He was whoever Mick was as an individual to each individual player. Like, for someone like Daisy needed a father figure, so he's a father figure towards Daisy. Whereas, I I mean, that's only the best example I've got for like Mick and stuff. But then for someone else that he needed to sort of, a certain player needed to be a bit more harder on. Maybe say Swanee, for example, because Swanee needed a kick in the arse every now and then early days. All these players, like each player are their own puzzle. So if you go into it thinking that, as long as we figure out the Collingwood puzzle, we should be okay. No, you've got 45 puzzles you've got to solve, and like that's the scenario you got. So the fact Moldhouse was, I think, very good in that aspect. I think for what Fly does, I think he does very well. But when you really look at the way he goes about it, there are things that he does miss in some sense. Because I mean, yeah, I think with Fly, I think we know at this point he's a very big talker. But there are also people that don't really respond to just talk. They want to see action. They want to see, when it comes to press conferences and, if and I'm not trying to call out anything specific, but yeah, you want to have your coach back you in. You want to have your coach, going into bat for you and stuff. So it all adds up at the end of the day, and and that could be, just things like that could be that 5 to 10% difference to make you then feel good, to make you then attack that contest a little bit harder. And then when you attack that contest a bit harder, you end up winning it. And if you win enough of them, you then go, damn, I had a half decent game because I won 60% of my contests, where before I was only winning 25-30%.
Yeah.
So those things go a long way, and it does surprise me how much it's underutilized. Because the mental and emotional side of the game, it's a huge aspect to our game.
Yeah, that totally went over my head that Finn McRae went to West Coast. Fuck.
Yeah.
Look, good on him. Second opportunity. Good on him. Hope all goes well for him. But yeah, look. What do you say, man? Like, I remember in the preseason last year, everyone was talking him up, and he had a really good preseason, and then straight from the start, he wasn't in the starting team, and then he got injured, and yeah.
Oh, the 2024 season, he looked like DeGoey.
Yeah.
I was there every session, and he was looking like a DeGoey, just bursting out the stoppage, and I know it's training, and I know that it's match sim and things like that. So it's not probably the same compared to an actual match or a practice match against another club, but again, it's you have all that momentum. I can go on for days about this, but you have that momentum, and you're thinking, holy shit! I think I even remember back to even when Reef, there was a video of Reef. It might have been that same year in 24 where I think it was Penderbury was giving Reef a whole bunch of praise and just being hey, this guy works hard, he does so much, and we just got to back him in. Something to that effect, and the camera then turned to Reef, and he was just basically in tears because it just meant so much to him. When you have that, that's how much investment emotionally and mentally they put into this game. So once you pull that away from them and you're not giving them that game, you might as well chop off their hand or their leg at that point, because that's just how much of a hindrance it does, because it's an equivalent of that, because we don't really look at things like that, and I think just even in society in general, once you kill that momentum, you then have to then, I guess in a sense, once you fall off that horse, it's a damn effort just to get back on the horse, because you got to I'm thinking about things too literally now, but yeah, having to get your leg over and start riding the horse again, it's a massive effort. Or even the saying of the ladder, where it's it's so easy to fall down the ladder, but then to climb back up, it's a lot harder. So
yeah, I tend to agree with that. I know with myself, I was playing last night, and my coach actually gave me praise where I dribble like left and right, and I did everything I could under like a lot of pressure. And one thing that I was a bit disappointed of it came off my foot. I missed it, and the opposition player had it, and they scored. And well, I was down. My coach knew I was down. It was good to see that I had the coach there supporting me and saying, "No, you did well. Yeah, you fumbled the ball a little bit, but at least you were able to be prepared to use both sides of the ball when you like when you're dribbling the ball as well." So it does feel great, and I do agree with what Ultimate Greatness says. Like, you need to have that bit of balance as well. Like, it's good to feel disappointed, but also know that you got that praise. Like, yeah, that's something that you can work on, 100%.
Yeah, and it's also on the individual as well, because as I said, it's not just one puzzle piece of Collingwood. It's 45 puzzle pieces of each player, and each player will have a different, puzzle to themselves, and you just got to figure it out.
All right, guys. Looks like I can feel another massive marathon coming along because we've spent half an hour on our first player. So
And that's just after me talking. Just once we get everybody else.
We're going to set a YouTube record here, mate. All right. Second picked for mine would be Darcy Cameron as our number one ruck. Now, if this guy goes down, we are in trouble. There's been a lot of conjecture. We got rid of Mason Cox, so if Darcy Cameron does go down, it's going to be Ultimate Greatness's favourite player, Oscar Steen, coming in to save the day for us. Is Oscar Steen ready to assume first ruck responsibility if Darcy goes down, Sean?
Oh boy. So I think it's kind of a bit of a difficult question to answer, because I think he can definitely be competent, but at the same time, it's also his first season too. So, it would be his first season if he was to, play this year. So, from a sense of him playing, I think I can definitely see him doing a role. I think the ruck rule would also help him a lot, because he is very much like Darcy, where he's very athletic. I did see some footage. I believe it probably was Jen. She does great content and stuff. Make sure you follow her on Twitter and Instagram and all those things.
Yep, I do.
Amazing work.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he seems. Yeah, him and Joel Cochran are probably the two big guys that are definitely making strides this year, which is great to see. I don't know if this has been mentioned at all, but I believe Cochran's put on about 5-6 kilos. So yeah, that's fantastic on him. Definitely a lot more weight on his frame now, which would be good. But anyway, onto Oscar. Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely going to be a very good player. Ironically, I see him as a Darcy Cameron clone. But I think it's more of the 22 Darcy Cameron, where he was a bit more of a forward ruck. And I think I think the Geelong model is probably the best model to probably look at, is when you got blitz halves and I'm now the other place. Stanley. Where they sort of did each half of the ground. So I think you're going to probably have two players for the one role, but you're also going to each player's going to cover their part of the ground. So it's going to be not as fatiguing, but then also, those players are going to be more fresh for each contest. And, if you have, say, if Oscar Steen does play, it would make my day if he does, clearly. But if he's, forward of the ball, Darcy's back of the ball. Even if Darcy plays as a loose key defender, I feel like that would be, that would be a very good option as well because we know with his intercept marking, he's one of the best in the comp. If not, wasn't he wasn't there a stat saying he was the best in the comp?
Darcy,
Yeah,
look
with like
on the
intercept marking for a ruckman or something.
look on the eye test, definitely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, there was no other player doing that what he was doing. Just a quick one. The new ruck rules. How will it affect Darcy? Negatively or positively? Like,
Uh, yeah.
I'm hearing you have to be a jumper now. You have to have a bit of a leap on you. I don't think Darcy's got that in the center square.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. I mean, he's a how do I put this? The timing of his jump is very good, but he doesn't have like a huge leap. If that makes any sense, Oscar has a better leap, but he's like in the similar bracket where he's more. He sort of sits in the hole, takes the mark, but it's more. Both of them are more about timing their mark. So when they time their jump, but yeah, because I think DC is probably a bit better in a physical sense. But I mean, all you got to do is look at the way he intercepts down back and stuff when he goes back there as a spare man.
Yeah,
how well he does that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I think I wouldn't say he's probably one of the biggest leaps in the comp, but I don't think he's one of the worst either. And I think it'll be competent enough where I don't think he'll have an issue. But I think it'll probably help him, to be honest, because it'll also take out the negative aspect in the sense where you're not like it's putting more focus on actually tapping the ball and actually going after the ball rather than, oh damn, this guy can jump, let me sort of take him out so I can get the tap or I can like sort of halve the contest. Yeah. So I think it's more trying to make the game a bit more advertisable, I guess, when you have both rucks equally jumping at the ball, and then it just comes down to pure talent at the end of the day or ability to tap it.
Yeah.
I saw help.
Yeah,
for sure.
I saw Anthony's show and where we had Jeff White on.
Yep.
And Josh Jacobs here says Jeff White thinks the new rule will benefit DC. From what I remember of Anthony's show, Jeff White said something like Darcy's got like a real advantage with his left hand or something. I got to watch it again, man. I don't want to go into detail about it, but yeah. So look, we all know Darcy. He doesn't dominate the centre bounces, but fuck, what he does around the ground is fucking elite. It's probably better than Maxi Gorn around the ground. So we're not going to be complaining. It's just going to be if he goes down, and history tells us every year he probably gets injured, has about 3 weeks off or something. And in the past, we've had Mason or whoever to step up and help us out. But this time, it's going to have to be young Oscar, and it could be a good baptism of fire for him. He's got to play one day, and people that say we should have kept Cox, I understand, but fuck, man, we've got to move on from these oldies, and this is it. This is the year where I think a lot of these young fellas are going to get their opportunity, and we just got to hope, more of them step up than not, and from what we've seen from this whole group of youngsters, that I think we've got a good case to be optimistic, man. I'm just off the top of my head, I'm just thinking, you Will Hayes, your Harvey Harrison, Reef McInnes, these are all still young guys, Rowan Steele, they're not all, 2 or 3 of them are going to fucking step up and become good quality fucking long-term players, and hopefully more of them do. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was sort of a situation for Cox where I think it was probably best for both parties. I think Cox has a bit more left to give. I think there is a little bit more juice in the tank for more football, but I just don't think that juice would have been worth it with us. The fact that he goes to, like, Fremantle, that's probably the best team that you're probably going to go to in that sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he was to go to, like, a bottom 6 team, he'd be playing every week, like, and he'd be. I think we also we don't really look at players that just are solid at a role. Like, we don't look at role players in the way that we should. I mean, that's probably one of the things that I always try to value where, whenever you hear about star players are easy to, look out for because they're star players, like, they stand out. It's the guys that, like, don't stand out, but then they keep getting a game every week. And then once you then go find out why is this guy, playing each week, I mean, I think Bo is probably a good example where, you talk to any fan base that isn't Collingwood and, like, he always seems to be the guy where they go, why is this guy getting a game? It's like, dude, like, you clearly just don't watch enough. Like, the amount of pressure and even there's been games where he then doesn't play and how much we then lack in pressure. Like, it's just I think back in the day, it's a little bit left field in terms of topic and stuff. But back in the day when we used to have Travis Cloke, like, that was probably, he was one when whenever Travis Cloke was up and about kicking goals and, like, taking contested marks and all this stuff, you knew Collingwood is on. I get the sense when it comes to Bo's obviously it's not picked up on as much because no one really goes out of their way to, like, watch a tackle. Like, when you go and watch a replay, you're not rewinding back because Bo put some pressure on because he smothered a ball or whatever. But I think in terms of importance and stuff, I think, he's the type of guy where, when he's out of the side, not only do we pick up on it when he's not there because it's like, oh, damn, we don't have Bo, so our day's going to get harder because he's not there. But it's just those things where, because also as well, when he's not doing it, then someone else is going to do it, and we're relying on such and such player to then put on pressure, and maybe that's not their forte. Like, where I'm just struggling to think of a name that would be a good example, but it's like with anything, like, if, like, Nick goes down and we got to bring someone in to find the ball and get 30 disposals, like, that's not easy to do, and to have someone to come in and just do that, like, it's that just shows you how important someone like Nick is and the amount of pressure and tackles that Bo does. It's not easy to do. You can't just walk up or even play a kid at the age of 18, 19, 20 and he just gets 8 tackles and, I don't know what the numbers of a pressure act would be or whatever, but when Bo's getting 8, 9, 10, 12 tackles, like, players just don't walk on the field and do that. So when you have them, you got to keep onto them.
Yeah. Just 1 second, guys. I've got Matt backstage. I'm just going to get him on now.
Yep.
Good day, Matty.
G'day, legends.
I thought you were gonna watch the tennis over my podcast, mate.
I've already had 6 hours of tennis watching Alcaraz. I need a break.
Yeah. Who's winning out of Djokovic and Sinner?
Well, I don't know. I reckon Collingwood should rookie list Alcaraz. Forward pocket, pace, class, and
IQ. How's the IQ going? Would he be able to find the ball with some IQ around the ball?
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
He'd have a left foot too, which is different for Collingwood.
Yeah.
Left foot.
So
what is that?
The Novaks and Sinner are on now, so the missus is updating me.
Yeah.
I'll watch a bit later.
There's our mate Manny. I wonder, is he in Australia or is he still in Greece? I wonder. Where are you, Manny?
Did he go? He came back and then had to go back to Greece or something.
Okay. I'm sure we'll find out. All right, yeah. So tonight, Matt, we're just going through the list, and we've gone 54 minutes, and we've only gotten 2 players in. So it's going to be a fucking marathon, mate. But that's the way it is, mate.
Yeah, I'm up to date. So the whole thing about Cox shouldn't be playing this year. Last year. But the reason now he should have been playing is because of piss poor management of our list last year. With all of the management we went through last year, resting players, how don't you get 3 or 4 games into Steen is the issue. That's the issue. We don't have, qualifying final next year. Imagine if Cameron was injured and Steen didn't make the grade. Goodbye. You'll kiss that final goodbye. So I agree with you, Mick. It's time for a lot of these older guys to go. But if you're picking between Lockie Sullivan and Mason Cox, who are you having on your list this year?
We've got too many similar types to Lockie Sullivan, and we don't have enough similar types to Mason Cox. So, we're not saying Lockie Sullivan's shit, but we're saying what the team needs. And I would have preferred to just keep Cox on and say you're playing resis all year unless Darcy goes down, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. He only has to play 5 or 6 games, and that could be the difference. Or he doesn't play at all, and I'd be fine with that as well. But anyway, that's in the past. One thing about these injuries, I don't like to wish harm on anyone, but I'm glad we've got injuries.
Yeah,
because it's
better now than later.
Well, no, even if it's opening round next week and we've got 6 or 7 injuries to first pick players, that's good for the club because it's the only way that Fly is going to inject youth into the side when he's forced to. We all know that.
Yeah.
So, that someone like Steen, we've got a couple of talls out, so you can slot someone like Steen in, shift the team around, and he gets a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got to try this youth out really early on in the season. I'd much prefer to be struggling a bit at the start of the year, but giving the young blokes a game and then come real good at the end.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, I've got 2 special people backstage. This is going to be a ripper. We've got the 2. All I can describe these guys are as 2 kings. One man who is ubiquitous in the Collingwood YouTube universe. He's everywhere, and I've got him here, Mr. Benny Zero. And I've got straight from maybe Greece, we'll see now, Manny. There he is. Gentlemen, welcome. Happy New Year. Go Pies. How are you?
Yeah, so chronologicals. Benny, all the boys in the chat, how are we, all right?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Manny. Hey, Benny.
Benny, you want to start, buddy? Benny, you want to start?
He's on mute.
Go,
He's
Benny.
What are you doing there, Malaka? You back on, huh? You're back on,
He's
buddy.
on mute.
There
Who
we
is
go. Stupid mute button. Amateur hour here, mate.
What are you doing, Benny? You all right, buddy? What are you doing there? What are you doing there, chronologicals? Mick, what are you doing there? You're back on, buddy.
I'm back on, man.
I'm just.
I've been getting fucking texts from everyone saying, fucking, when are you gonna do another stream? I'm like, there's nothing to fucking talk about in December, man.
What do you mean?
I thought,
there's plenty to talk about.
I know. But look, now it's a good time. Now we'll go through the list, and we'll talk a bit of shit. Fucking talk about what we expect for the year and stuff. And yeah, man, that's how it is, mate.
Hey,
Benny, good. Benny, what's this I hear? You're going to be doing a regular, like a podcast with our friend Anthony. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, once a week we're going to do about a 30, 40-minute podcast, just, covering maybe things that weren't covered during the week in his normal show, or just, if I come up with some questions, because he's always around the club and going to training and things, and I might ask questions about what he's seen and just about footy stuff in general, and sort of my specialty in the fitness side of things. I might answer some questions regarding players and what they're doing. Looks like we've got a few injuries, so there might be a few questions there. And we're just going to shoot the shit about Collingwood stuff.
Beautiful.
As best we can, just like a couple of fans having a chat like this.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Manny, what are we going to do this year, mate? What are we doing this year? We're going to surprise, or we're going to fucking shit the bed?
Hey, Don't worry there. You know, right? And we all know. We spoke about a lot of things last year, a lot of things. And we're going to watch very closely and we're going to see if those things pop up again, right? One of the things that's popped up again is, I'm talking about. The little kid in the forward line, right? We spoke about him last season. He's playing up. The other one's the headband man, right? The headband man, where we're going to keep a close eye on him, and also all the others, right? They're on notice. There's hungry kids in the team, right? If they don't perform, right, a couple of weeks, right? If they don't perform and they're not doing their job, it's time to insert the youngsters. Get them in there and play them there. What have we got to lose? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I look at it this way. Look, I know we demand fucking the best. We want a fucking premiership every fucking year. But if we fucking shit the bed and don't even make fucking top 10 this year, having said that, if we have a shit year, we don't make the top 10, but a lot of the kids play and a lot of the kids look good, and we'll have enough salary cap space to land a big gun for next year, like a Butters or something like that, or whatever. And I'd be content with that. Not happy, I'd be content with it. But
put it this way. I'm just gonna ride the season. We're gonna ride the season together. And if we're even par through the season and we're gonna make finals, I'll leave the older players in. But as I said to Anthony last week, if we go down 0-5, I mean 0-5, right? I don't give a fuck what anyone says. If you go down 0-5 to start off the season's cooked. You're not going to make top 4, right? You're going to have to win 10 games in a row, which means it's not going to happen. So what I'll do is, then I'll bring a few youngsters in and give them game time. That way, we're not wasting the whole season for nothing. But if we're doing all right and we're just staying level par and we're just staying afloat, or I say 5th, 6th on the table, what I'll do is I'll just get a couple youngsters in, give them a bit of game time, right? A bit of spark, a bit of pace in the middle, right? And see what happens. Otherwise, if we go down 5-0, there's no point playing the old blokes. You might as well retirement. Put them in pasture, mate, and get the young boys in there. Look towards the future.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Angry Anderson play in person because he's from South Australia. I've seen him play there, and Angry Anderson, right? He's a unit today. I've seen him hunt the baller. Right, and I'm telling you, Lipinski's on notice. Hey, Lipinski, if your head's not over the footy, buddy, I'll be watching closely. Hey, Angry Anderson comes in, right, 22-year-old. I've seen him play. At least he's got testicles, and he put his head over the ball. And players have to be put on notice. You're going out there and you're going to get the job done. There's not going to be no pussyfooting around and pulling out a contest. And if you don't get the job done, that's fine. We'll give a young kid a go. We'll put a young kid in and let him get the job done. Simple. And no more resting players, and no more resting players every week and all this bullshit. Just get them out there and let them play. If they break down, they break down. We'll bad fucking luck. Exactly.
Actually, one thing I do want to put out there, and obviously, Manny, you can answer this. When it comes to Anderson, do you rate his outside ability? Because everything I've done research on when it comes to Anderson, he's more of an inside type. I've seen like highlights of him in the Sanford Grand Final where he does get some ball on the outside and stuff. And I wouldn't say he's a great pick, but he's definitely it's definitely serviceable. Would you? Because obviously Lipinski's more on the outside. Would you put him over Lipinski just because of his? Obviously, he can put his head over the ball, but I feel like if you're going to have Lipinski out, you need to do things that like Lipinski does. So do you think that he can be on par or maybe better?
No, what's to happen is Lipinski's a good kick inside 50. So so what has to happen is he's the kick inside 50. What has to happen is you've got to get the balls in the middle, right? So you got to get Angry Anderson and you've got to get Longy in the middle. And don't worry about Longy kicking the ball inside 50. He's a hack. He can't kick the ball. So what you got to do is you got to get the balls in the middle, right? You've got to get Josh and Nick running on the outside, right? The ball users. right? And to get those two boys to feed the ball out, because Angry, I've seen him, he goes under the packs. He's like a Mitchell type, but he's quicker than Mitchell.
Yeah,
so he's got pace. So he can run up. So he can run up, but he can do the transition running. So if we lose the footy in the half forward line, right, and they rebound off us, he's got the pace to chase and tackle, right? But Mitchell was too slow. So, but the problem is, because the Sandful is a bit slower than the AFL, I reckon once he gets used to the pace of the game, right, he'll be a lot better. He'll have more time to use the footy. But I reckon get Angry Anderson in there, get Longy in there, and get the two Dacos boys to run alongside and feed the ball to him, and get those two boys to use the footy inside 50, or even link up with Lipinski, and then get Lipinski to hit targets out in the inside 50s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the reason why I brought it up, as much as I do like Anderson, like I'm definitely a big fan of what he's like shown so far, and especially from some of the things I've like heard, like internally, like apparently even the Angry Anderson part, they gave him that nickname like super early on.
He's an angry player. He put his head over it, bro. I've seen him. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like that they definitely rate him and stuff. Like I know that sure.
Put it this way.
But I'm saying if he's coming in for Lipinski, they're not necessarily the same players. So unless we're willing to go more inside than outside, then that could be a tactic, because then you're taking out an outside player to then put in an inside player in. But that's, I feel like if we're going to take a Lipinski out, you sort of need, unless if you put maybe even like a Long out to a wing, because we know Long athletically, he's actually very underrated with that area of the game.
Long on the wing.
He's probably a bit slow. You
There's
reckon?
no way Long's playing on the wing.
No, he's not a good enough. You know what the problem is this season? You know what the problem's going to be this season? I'll tell you what the problem's going to be this season. I can see it happening by a mile away. I'll tell you what the problem's going to be. The problem's going to be Darcy Cameron, right? The new ruck rule now, that you got to jump up, the ball's going to get thrown up in the air, and the ruckmen have to jump. I've got a feeling because Darcy Cameron doesn't get off the ground. That's why I asked Anthony the other day on his channel. I said, "Have you seen Cameron jumping off the ground?" Because I've got a feeling that every other ruckman's going to be jumping on top of him and is going to be tapping the ball out. And I've got a feeling Cameron, he refuses to jump. That's why I reckon we need bulls in the middle. We need powerful bulls in the middle to keep that contest tight. Because if they get the ball on the outside, they're going to split us to ribbons. That's the problem. See?
No, but that's the thing, though. It's like with that. No, but that's the thing. So with that argument, I can, because that's the thing. Like, as much as you can say that he doesn't jump, I think when you bring in the rule where the rucks have to leap, he then doesn't have a choice. Yeah. He then has to. Well, he then has to jump. So.
Yeah, no, but he doesn't jump high, right?
Yeah, no,
he jumps high for, he can jump high for marks.
Yeah, exactly. So if he does that for a rucking contest, I personally, I think he'll be fine. I don't think, as I said, I don't think he has the greatest leap in the comp, but he definitely has a leap though. That's definitely for sure. But and I think as well too, just because he's in a ruck contest and he goes more body than he does leap, that's because before with the rules that we had previously, as rucks, there was the choice to either go physical or to go aerial, with the leap. So now that the rules are basically you basically leap at the ball and there is no sort of physical ground game. Obviously, when the ball hits the ground, there's physical ground game. But like as you go to tap the ball, there is no choice but to run, jump, and leap at the ball. So because and I think when it comes to the strength part, because that's taken out of it, he's now got no choice but to leap at it. So I think it's I mean I'm not sitting here saying that he's definitely going to be great at the role, because we haven't seen him in terms of in that scenario, because when you have the choice, if you go leap, if you go ground, it's like, okay, well, which choice is he making, sort of thing, where now that choice is now not there, he has to leap every time. It's gonna be interesting to see how he goes.
Shawnee, what's been happening in the match simulation? Because surely they've been trialing this, the ball up at the centre bounce.
I would imagine so. I mean,
didn't you say you went to training, or was that? Sorry, was that Kev?
No, that was Kev. Kev said he went to training.
Yeah, I've been to a few training sessions.
Is Darcy jumping in the centre bounce?
I would say he has been, But I think this new rule will affect like guys like Gorn and Grundy because the problem was when you have Gorn, Grundy, Sherry, or wrestling, it makes it harder to try and jump. So you're forced to
They cross the line.
Yes. And they're forced to block a lot more. And it feels like they haven't been paying that as much. Where I think now they'll start paying these free kicks if you block more than anything. But I do think it'll help Cameron, but it will disadvantage like your
Kevin,
Gorns and
what about were they practicing the deliberate out of bounds, the last touch out of bounds rule? Were they practicing that at all?
they have been practicing that. They have been saying when it does go out, it's last touch rule. So they have been doing that really well.
Oh.
It's about time that it does get brought in. I'm sick and tired of which is insufficient and which isn't. So
that's another reason. That's another reason why you got to have good ball users on the wing. If the ball goes down, one of the wingers can grab it quickly. Ryan just hit a target inside the middle. You know what I mean? Open the ground up.
Yeah, actually, with that, is it just the 50s where it's last touch, where the wings
are
in between the 50s only.
Yeah.
A lot of simple.
You just know what's going to happen with this fucking ruck rule. Yeah, it's going to be. You know what's going to happen. One dickhead, one poor cunt's going to fucking do his knee because he fucking jumped and they knocked knees and they'll fucking change it again. They'll make another fucking shit, quick decision and change it again. Because that's why they changed it.
Was it like 2 years ago? 3 years ago, maybe, where there was a year where we had a ton of guys where they got on knees and half the rucks in the comp were all injured because of it. Was that 2 years?
That's why they're going to get
brought in they brought in a big circle for that because of the collisions with their ACLs and that. That was the reason why they brought in that not the small circle but the bigger circle. So you're forced to stand there and then you can jump and punch. I think that was
limited your run up.
Yeah, it was 2005 or something, I think. From memory. I could be making up, but I do know that it's been there for I think a long time now.
No,
they're going to get strict on the stand. They're going to get strict on the stand the mark rule as well. You won't be able to move at all. So hopefully they're practicing receiving handballs from behind, like in 2023, receiving handballs from behind and getting the handball gun, run and gun, and getting the ball moving forward, straight forward, not this long down the line crap. You know what I mean? Get the ball moving through the middle. Handball receives, right, hitting targets inside 50.
Yeah. All right, guys. We've had our number 2 guys. The Golden Boy and Darcy, they're our number 1 and 2 pick. I'll put it out there. Who would you put as the 3rd picked in the team?
I would say Josh Dacos.
Yeah, but where would you play him? Do we want to see
midfield?
Yep. Yeah.
I think he could be playing on the wing because he's good with his ball use and he's quick.
No.
The thing is, Kev, if you put him on the wing, he'll go long periods where the ball doesn't fucking go there, and like he's so good with the ball, you want him in and around it. And I've always been an aficionado of the Dacos boys playing fucking side by side, always, man. And I reckon Josh should be in the mid all year, man, with his brother, mate. Just put Houston or Pendles as that guy in the back line, the go-to guy that you always handball to, that doesn't need to play on a man. Just Houston or Pendles in that role. Josh in the midfield. We saw what he did against Gold Coast, and throughout the year when he played midfield, he did well enough for me. He's got the experience. When he's with his brother, man, they look for each other. They do these great 1-2 plays together. Just fucking put him in and we'll see a nice, good fucking 2, 3, 4 year period with the 2 Dacos boys fucking just dominating in the midfield, mate, terrorising the opposition. That's my fucking call.
Drop him in there, bro.
They're waxing. They wax.
Drop him in there.
Yeah. And but the thing is, I'm hearing about can someone back me up on this? In the preseason training, Josh is in the back line again, apparently, yeah?
Yeah, I saw him today. He was in the midfield again today. There was a couple
Was
of
he?
videos. Yeah, Swoop Luke had one, and Anthony done one. So that he was in the middle.
Yeah,
So
I think they've been putting him in the midfield more often than not.
Yeah.
It's what I've been seeing and taking notice of it when I've been filming. So yeah, I think it'll be more midfield. But I just hope if they're going to put someone in the back line, it should be either Houston and Quainer, I think. And you can put Maynard in the other back line as well with maybe Perman. And you can switch Perman in by playing parts in the midfield if you really need to.
You know, with Pezza, earlier in the chat we've been saying Nick needs a bull next to him, and we've been, saying Geordie and Ned Long. What about Pezza, mate, as a inside mid throughout the year, rather than he's been very serviceable in the back line. No complaints there. Yeah, he had a good season last year, but he's a good ball user. Yeah, so you could have that double thing where he goes in fucking hard, gets the ball, but he uses it well as well. Unlike Ned,
Yeah, especially if we're playing a Brisbane and you put him on an Ashcroft.
Yeah.
And limit the hurt the other way, but he can get 20 touches himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the sub rule's gone now as well. The sub rule's gone. So what you do is you keep rotating him off. You keep rotating him off the bench, right? So you get him in there fresh. So instead of having a sub, you just light up another midfielder and you start rotating him and get your best mix in there and just keep rotating him, and that can just get some real juice in there, some power.
Yeah.
There was also a stat I saw leading to just before he arrived from the Giants, that when he attended the centre bounces, the percentage of times where he got the ball compared to not getting the ball, even though it was because he had a small sample, but he actually was the best out of the whole entire Giants midfield in terms of actually every time he was to go into the middle at the centre bounce, he had a higher percentage out of every Giants player. I don't know what the percentage was and stuff. So and again, it was a small sample, so it's not like he did it for like a whole game or anything. But when I saw that stat, because it was around the time we got him and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's actually like a really interesting stat. So he can actually find the ball himself and even win a few clearances himself. But yeah, it's just the sample size that was the only thing to that. So if you can do it on a full game basis, that would be nice. But when he was at the Giants, he was basically their best mid when it come to winning the ball when he was in the centre bounces, because it was the highest percentage out of any Giants midfielder.
Can I ask a question with that? Do you think with Perman, do you think it's only the Brisbane team with their midfield that you need to do it, or do you think it should be like your Fremantles or Geelongs, these type of teams, and your Adelaides?
I just think it just needs to be trialled in general. I mean, again, like as the stat I just said before, just that alone, just have a crack, like throw him in there, see how he goes. Like, what's the worst you can do? Is lose a game in round 3? Like, who cares? Like, there's plenty of other games in the season. And again, when I say like even if you lose round 3 or whatever, like it's like that doesn't mean to say that that's going to happen if he plays midfield. Like, there's plenty of stats to actually suggest that he'd actually be very good at the role. So, I don't know. Maybe they sort of rely. Personally, I think they look at him as a Hoskin Elliott. They look at him as a what's the saying? Like a
Mr. Fix It.
Swiss Army knife.
Hack of all trades. So like,
yeah, Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. So like, he just does a whole bunch of roles similar to Austin Elliott. And I think with Fly, as we know, Fly doesn't like to change things, especially if they work. I just think they're probably too comfortable with the idea of him being that, Mr. Fixer, Swiss Army knife, whatever the term is. It would be nice to have him in the middle because, as I said, like it does like suggest that he would be a good midfielder in our team, but yeah, it's also on Fly to put him in the midfield too, which, as we know, when it comes to those things, if it's not something Fly's done before, we've come to learn, don't be holding your breath expecting it to happen, unless if you've seen it in the past.
I think we can be very dangerous midfield if we have like your Perrimans, your Josh Dacos, Ned, like John Goey, Ned Long types in, because if you look at the way that Brisbane win the flag, and even like when Richmond had their 3-peat as well, you can look at one or two that get bobbed down and tags, but then you got the next one that can step up. I think on what we've seen last year in the Gold Coast game when Josh Dacos went absolutely right in that last quarter, I think Perriman's got that ability to certainly play midfield, but also the fact is that he can take the game away from the opposition, and therefore you put the pressure on the opposition coach. Do we drop a tag on Nick Dacos and then go for Perriman, and that will free up Nick Dacos even more potentially? Who knows? But definitely that's something that we need to do a little bit more in having more midfield in there. So therefore, if Nick Dacos gets tagged, another midfielder gets off the leash, do they drop the tag or do they keep the tag for four quarters? That's one thing that's going to be very interesting indeed, I think.
Well, we need speed, mate. We need speed in the midfield. Speed, because Brisbane absolutely ripped us to shreds with speed. We were talking about on the show, remember? We were talking about how quick they were through the midfield. Remember they ripped us to shreds?
Yeah.
So we couldn't tackle them. Remember, they were just running straight past us. So we need speed. Whoever you put in there, I don't give a fuck who it is. He's got to be quick, and he's got to be able to transition. So he's got to be able to run from arc to arc, up and down, up until he goes to the bench. He's got to be able to run the arcs, or both arcs from the both 50s. They've got to be able to transition up and down, fuck until they get on the bench.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
Now,
do we play 2 rucks potentially since the sub rule's gone? Do you think we'll actually see, teams like ourselves?
Yeah,
I want them to try it very early on for that reason. Get Steen in there, give him a crack.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what teams do this year. Like, you get a lot of some teams do the big forward guy that chops out in the ruck. Others play just one ruckman. It'll be interesting to see because, with our forwards, all right, the 2 tall forwards, it's those 2 spots. It's going to be out of McStay, Buller, and Charlie West. Now, McStay's the only one that can chop out in the ruck, and every time he has chopped out in the ruck, I don't know. I haven't been that impressed with him. So.
Fuck! He wears him down. He wears him down when he plays in the ruck. It wears him down, and he can't. He's not powerful enough in the forward line. It's either you leave him forward and bring another ruck in, leave him up forward so he's got power, so he can take marks and kick goals. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. You might as well just play Steen and leave McStay to the fucking team and get Steen to go forward. You know what I mean? Steen can play a bit of forward, I think.
Yeah. There's another player I'd rather Cox in the list than McStay.
Coxie.
Yeah. I reckon McStay's cooked.
Oh, I don't know what's wrong with it. Oh, McStay is these. Listen. Hey, these players this year, the coach has to walk up to them and say, "Listen here, mate. Right? I'm going to give you 2-3 weeks to perform. McStay, you're gonna come back in the team. You got 2-3 weeks to perform. I want a minimum of 1 to 2 goals a game. You're going to play in the forward line, and if you can't kick goals, you're going to bring that fucking ball down. And I'm telling you, if you don't perform McStay, you're going to get kicked out of the side, and I'm going to bring Westy in. I'm going to give Westy 5 weeks in a row. I'm going to let Westy get back on his feet and get used to the speed of the game, and I want to get Westy in, and I'm going to give him game time. These players need to be held accountable. You just can't have players going out there and not kicking any goals and doing fuck all and getting a game every week. There's got to be accountability now. They've got to be held accountable, mate.
Yeah. Look, in my opinion, I would play Buller and West ahead of McStay from the start, man.
So would I.
So would I.
Absolutely.
So would I, mate. Because you know what?
But you know that's not going to happen, yeah?
The thing about Buller, I've been watching the Swoop and the Anthony videos, and Buller has a crack.
He's a mongrel. Yeah. He's got mongrel, mate.
He's a bit clumsy. He needs to sort of work on his, catching ability. But geez, he gives himself a lot of opportunities.
Exactly.
And, going up against Darcy Cameron and big boys, and he definitely really excited to see him have a go.
Well, you got mature. Hey, McStay's a mature footballer. He's a full-blown AFL footballer now. By this stage now, we got him into the club. By this stage, he should be doing damage for us. Yeah, you know what I mean? If he's not doing damage for us, and McStay, just sit on the bench, man, and just have a look, right, and get the young kid West in, and get West just signed on as well. He just signed the 3-year contract. Right, he's confident in the club. Get the young kid in there. You know what? Who gives a shit? Even if he doesn't perform the first couple of games, give him to 3-4 games. Let him get up to the speed of the game. And you never know. Like that Logan Morris from fucking Brisbane. They put Logan Morris in there. He's one of the best forwards in the fucking league. He's only 20 years old there.
Yeah, it's really key there, Manny, because what other clubs do is they do that. They'll give a young player 3 or 4 or 5 games. Fly will play a guy once as sub and then drop him the next week. I mean, he can't play him sub this year, but it just destroys their confidence.
Exactly. You grab. It's what you do for your coach. You grab Westy. You take him before the game. You take him in the change rooms and you tell him, "Hey, Westy, you know what? You go out there and you do what you need to do. You prove to me that you're a full-blown fucking power forward. Power forward. Destruction. I mean, full-blown Jonathan Brown style. And you tell him before the game, even if you don't perform today, I'm going to give you 5 weeks. And you tell the kid, you got 5 weeks to prove yourself. You're going to leave you in there for 5 weeks, and you show me what you got. We can't have McStay going out there, right, and getting injured every week and doing a whole lot of fuck all. You know what I mean?
Yep. And all you do, you don't have to have very high KPIs. Basically, it's like you're having a crack. You're making a contest. Bare minimum, we want you to get to the contest and bring the ball to ground. If you're doing that, everything else is cream on top.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you think of our defence, guys? Like, fucking Jezza Howe, 1 more year older.
Fuck me dead.
5 out of 6 of them are injured.
He just got injured.
5 out of 6 of those boys are injured right now.
Wow.
And all this talk about Reece McGuinness being a gun defender. Are we fucking serious now? I keep hearing people on fucking videos, right, saying that Reece gonna come in, Reece gonna be the answer. Mate, Reece not gonna do fuck all. I've seen him play defence. He's a failed forward, right? I reckon Cochran it would be better than a Reece McGuinness. Seriously.
Or Howes, Noah Howes even.
Yeah, even a Howes.
He has a crack.
And then we've got fucking Jeremy Howe. He's going to break down in 2 seconds, guaranteed. And then you got fucking Frampton. He was running a bit funny today. I don't know what's wrong with him. So that defense, and then you got the captain. Hey, the captain. This year, I'm going to watch him very closely. Hey, I'm going to watch the captain very closely. I'm going to fucking watch him this year, and I want to see what he fucking does. I will see what he does, but we need him. We need him up and about. He's got to be critical for us.
Yeah.
See, about it, points we were making about selection integrity. That's the other thing. As long as Moore's captain, he can't be dropped. You know.
What do you mean?
And I reckon they're going to try him up the ground.
He could be dropped, bro. It's a club.
I'll never drop him, man.
I never will, mate.
Yeah.
Mate, he
Well,
could lie down in the goal square and have a cry for a whole quarter. They wouldn't drop him.
You reckon? I'll fucking
Mate,
drop him. Yes, bro.
No. They need him. He's
Well,
the woke ambassador.
Well, I reckon they're trying to make that fucking. They're trying to make the Hillary Smith a fucking defender as well now. So
Yeah.
I'd have more faith in him than McGuinness.
Yeah.
What about TJ? What's he doing? Is he doing any good, TJ?
Apparently he's put on weight, man. That's what I'm hearing. He's put on fucking some muscle.
Who's this?
TJ.
Yeah, but TJ's only 189. He's not that tall.
So he's a third stringer.
That's Howie's height. So
but Howie's like an exception to the rule, though. Like, I mean, it's like saying
but he can get up as well, TJ.
Yeah.
TJ can get up. He's got lanky arms. Lanky arms. He can get there. He's got lanky arms. That TJ. I reckon he'll be able to get there and put spalls on. Touch the ball.
I wouldn't mind him as a supporter, as like a third tall, but I wouldn't want him as a 1 or 2.
Like we've been playing Perryman in the back line. I wouldn't mind seeing TJ back there. Put Perryman in the midfield, mate. You know.
Yeah, but Perryman's but Perryman's the type of defender that will play on a tall if it's if we have like nobody else and if we get caught out in a defensive situation.
Yeah.
Hey Mick, I'll ask you a quick question. Yeah? I'll ask you one quick question. Then when I go with a cigarette, hey, how'd you feel? How'd you feel when you saw the delisting of fucking what's his name? Of Dean there? I lost it.
Charlie Dean.
Yeah, how'd you feel when you saw him get delisted? I said, "Oh my god, thank fuck he's out of that club, man.
Yeah.
Fuck, he should be my head in big time. Like something fucking bad, mate."
Yeah. What can I say, man? The thing was with him, like he was always injured before he played a game, and everyone was talking him up like he was the second coming of fucking, whoever the greatest defender ever was. It's like, then he played. It's like, who the fuck's this stuff, man?
But don't forget. Remember when he played an awful game, and
we lost it.
Frampton was fit and ready to go, and he played him again instead of Frampton. Do you remember that?
I remember that, bro. We lost it. We lost it, all of us. We had a fucking breakdown.
That was gaslighting. That was pure gaslighting.
Yeah, and they tried to save face by saying that he wasn't completely 100%. Yeah, okay, but apparently Checkers is 100% too.
Yeah,
you can't flirt with Billy Frampton. He's a confidence player. Like, leave him out of the side for too long. It might take him 2 or 3 games to get back into the swing of it, and you can't rely on more.
Yeah.
Frampton's a lock down there. You need him firing.
Yeah, because originally he was out of the side because I think he had a calf issue. But I mean, he was ready to go. I mean, you saw that VFL game. I think we played Williamstown from memory, and he was good to go. Like that was, it's. I mean, for us, it's always hard to make that call because we don't really know that much, right? But I mean, they would have seen him internally. They would have seen him at training all week. They would have, they've taken risks on players that have been far bigger than playing Frampton. And especially when, as you said, like Frampton is a confidence player and stuff. Those are the moments that shit me because and then we turn around and we go, Frampton's, now out of the league or whatever and blah, blah. And it's like, but if you give him a consistent game or, opportunities or you play him in the moments where you don't play Dean, we then sit and talk about him as if he's like a very, accomplished player in the whole league. So, I mean, how many times, I think it's been, 2 years he's had starts to the AFL season where, mind you, it might be a bit of banter and a bit of jokes, but you have Collins supporters talking about how he's like an all-Australian level player, because he has like a great, first, 10, 12 weeks, and then, what was it? There was 1 year where that was happening and then Fly put him up forward and just, destroyed his whole, again, mental and emotional. Just, God, that's a rabbit hole.
Speaking of key defenders, Sean, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Is this strategic getting this McCartan brother into the reserves? First question.
in terms of picking him up in the MSD.
So can we theoretically put Hill on the long-term injury list so that we can bring in a key defender?
You would have to take him off the list because he's contracted. Like, he's contracted for multiple years. So,
but if you've got a contracted player and they're long-term injured, can't you put them on the long-term injury list and then they don't? It's not.
But what's the injury though?
Mental health.
Yeah, mental health. Like, he's not available.
I mean, I would do it. If the club would do it, though, that's another story. But
yeah, they're probably too woke to do it.
I mean, it would like, I mean, if we went down the mental health card, that would be a first, though, wouldn't it? I don't think a player's ever been. I mean, players have missed games because of mental health, but it wouldn't be like on the injury list.
The club. The reason they have the rule is when someone's on a long-term injury, like a knee or whatever, it's the club doesn't have access, so they say, okay, for the next 12 months, that guy's on your list, but we'll open up his spot for the next 12 months for a rookie. So Bobby Hill is not available to us, hasn't been available for 6 months. We just say, he's not available for 12 months.
Dogs did it with Jamara. So, yeah, I mean, if we can do it, I'm all for it. I'm just not really privy to those rules and stuff. But, yeah, I with the way that Bobby's acting, and probably best not to say too much, but yeah, I'd rather just get a guy in the MSD and sort of move on, to be honest. Keep it to that. Even though I've absolutely loved Hill and his time here, and I'll never downplay his impact in the grand final, but and yeah, he'll forever be a premiership player, so I'll always hold him in high regard. But
oh yeah, look, man, when he hasn't got any bullshit happening in his life, mate, he's fucking one of the first picks, man. Even he needs fucking in a 10, 15 minute little period, he can fucking turn a game. And it's so unfortunate what's happening, but it's happening, man. And we're going to fucking try and work out what to do. How many, all right, let's say he doesn't play all year because of all this stuff. What happens next year? We say, oh, let him sort out his, we're going to support him. It's like, fuck, man. No.
No, I don't. I think either one of two things happen. And it's either, I think he continues the way he's going, and I feel like he either gets traded for a packet of chips, kind of like Jamara.
Yeah, we won't get shit for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you asked me a couple of weeks ago, I would have thought that, we probably might have, at worst, got a second-round pick for him, but now it's just like, no, I think it's... If we get a fourth pick now, I'd be taking it and running at this point.
He's full of shit, boys. He's full of shit. He's full of shit. You know why he's full of shit? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why he's full of shit. I'll tell you exactly why he's full of shit. Oh, you want to tell that? Because my partner, my ex, right? Same worse situation than him. My daughter, I don't see my daughter, my ex, when I got pregnant with some other bloke, right? Had a kid with another bloke. Then what she done is she went and had that new kid, and then after that new kid, she went and got pregnant with another bloke. So she got pregnant with two blokes.
So is it three different blokes?
No, so me, I was the first one, right?
Yep.
Then I broke up. Then we broke up for a while, and then I got custody of my daughter. She took my daughter away, and then she got pregnant with another bloke, had a son with him. Then after the son, now she went and found a junkie on drugs. Is living with my daughter. He's living with my daughter in the house, and he's on drugs. And she got pregnant with twins. One twin died because it was premature, and she's got 3 kids with 3 different fathers. So he's got kids with her, his missus, and she got pregnant with another bloke. So my situation is twice as hard. I have to get up every day and do what I got to do. Right? The fact that he couldn't rock up to the photo day the other day and take a photo with the team is disgraceful. The fact that he can't get up and even go sit on the push bike there on the side and do some push bike and not even show his face. The fact that he used the club to get security As I spoke about it last year. He went to the club and he demanded a big contract. How the fuck do we know whether he just went to the club, right, and he had problems before and he got 5 years? He's contracted 2030 on fucking 800 grand a year. That's going to be the biggest trade disaster in Collingwood's history. I'm telling you, if he doesn't get back to the club. He's lucky. He's lucky Eddie Maguire. He's lucky Eddie Maguire's not the president, because I guarantee you, if Eddie Maguire was the president, he would have taken him to court and he would have sued him to get his contract, right? To get his contract rearranged. Also, this one else pisses me off. If you're a decent person and you love the club, you know what you do? You walk into the office tomorrow and you go grab the coach, and you know what you say to him? I'm not well. I need time off. So you know what's going to happen? I want you to get my contract out, and I want you to revise my contract. So I'll take half the money off my contract, give it to Nick Dacos before we lose him to Tasmania, right? And go in there and adjust your contract. Why the fuck are you sitting at home pulling your dick? And us, the members, we're the members. We pay your fucking wages. I'll pay his wages, mate. We pay him to play. We don't pay him to sit at home and play with his dick. We gave him all last year to get sorted. We spoke about it last year. We respected him. We gave him all last year to get better. Now it's getting beyond the joke. He has to go to the club and show his face. Simple as that. It's getting disgraceful now.
Yeah, it's a fucking joke now.
Yeah,
it is, mate. Fuck him, mate. We gave him last year. We all respected him. We respected him last year. We respected him. We said, well, we're going to give him time. But mate, you had plenty of time to get better, right? He's fucking around. He's playing for the biggest club in the land, right? And I'll guarantee you, if he doesn't get back to the club, he's going to be the first name on the trade table, because Collingwood Football Club, what they do is they look after you as much as they can look after you. They give you chances and they give you chances. But if you disrespect the club, I'll guarantee you, right, by the end of the year, he'll be the first bloke on the fucking trade table. Guaranteed.
I will say this. He did say that he did want to stay at Collingwood. Now that he's having the issues that he's had, you know, had he said, look, I want to go back home, I'm sure as hell, like, none of us would have begrudged him for doing that. But now that it feels like he's taking another time off, like, it's like with everybody, right? We all have mental health, but the difference is we go to work because we need the money. We can't afford to take time off.
Exactly, bro. Well, what do you think this is? Come, we're gonna get serious here, bro. This is enough's enough, mate. Yeah, we know he's got mental health issues, but fuck me, so have millions of people in the world. Millions of people got mental health issues, but they've got to get up and get paid and do what they've got to do to support their family. We just can't have him on 800 grand a year, right, out of the salary cap. Right, we could pay 2 fucking solid players with his salary. We could bring in 2 solid players, young players, and get them in the fucking team. We're paying him to sit at home and pull his dick. And the worst thing is, the club's hiding it. The club doesn't come out and say anything. Oh, he's taking personal fucking leave. Really? How much personal leave do you want? Do you want fucking 10 decades? Huh? Do you want 1,000 fucking generations? How many more days do you want personal leave? So we're just going to pay you for the rest of the fucking year, are we? You know what I mean?
And look at the flip side. I bet you Lockie Neal comes out next year and has a fucking blinder, mate.
Of course. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also probably because he's trying to put his name up for a trade at the end of the year, though, too. Which, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's still. I mean, I'd rather that be the situation than what Hill is going through. But I don't know. Like, I just it does. Each day it makes it hard to sort of keep it positive, and like I do wish Bobby the best. Like I just don't want that to be taken away from the conversation. But like, I think it's not even just anger; it's more just like I think
it's taking the piss now, bro.
I'm angry. I'm angry about it,
mate. He's taking the piss, bro. He's taking the piss. He's taking the piss, mate. You know what he can do? He can show up to the fucking club and jump on the bike, bro. He can go to the photo fucking shoot. Why don't you go into the photo shoot for, buddy? You used to just walk in there and take a team photo with the boys. How can you not rock up? How can you not rock up to the club and take a team photo? Are you fucking kidding me? Hey, you're on 100 grand a fucking year. Get to the club and take a team photo. Get to the club, and if you don't want to train, as I said, get on the exercise bike and start getting fit. So when you're mentally stable, or when you're fine to get on the footy park, at least you got some fitness behind you. By the time he gets back, he needs 4 months of fucking conditioning. What's he gonna fucking do?
And then we're going to play him in the VFL, get some match fitness up. And
Actually, I will say this: I don't see him playing VFL at all, and that's also I think that will be what makes him leave the club. I could even see him potentially even just leaving the game completely.
Yeah.
Because it'd be a thing of like, hey, we want you to get better, but it's going to be through the VFL. I reckon he'll make some sob story up and he'll just go, "Nah, I'm done, guys. I retire. I'm gonna leave the game through mental health and all that stuff. See you guys."
Guess what? Him hanging around the kids as well.
Exactly. Guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen every weekend? What else do you think's going to happen every weekend? What do you think the storyline's going to be? What do you think the storyline's going to be every weekend? It's going to be a distraction. It's going to be all about Bobby Hill, exactly like that Jamara. Jamara from the Western Bulldogs. Every single week, what's Jamara doing? Right, this, and that. Oh, Collingwood's got culture problems. The same fucking bullshit. This Kane Corn's piece of shit, scumbag motherfucker. All these fucking crappy talks. All these pundits talk shit. Oh, they're old. Yeah, but every fucking they don't stop and think that every single young team in the AFL that's young hasn't won a flag for fucking decades. So it makes no fucking sense what they're talking about. They're so dumb, these cunts.
Especially as well, if we're going to say, I don't know, let's just say Anzac Day, which I'm assuming is like round 7 or 8. Like if it's round 8, if we're like say 2 and 5 going into Anzac Day, like the media are going to be tearing us apart.
Fucking right.
But in saying that, if we're say 5 wins, 2 losses, I think they'll still take jabs here and there, but it won't be as bad. But I can.
Yeah, it's going to be our brain. What's going to be?
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. But that's the thing, though. If
they're going to run out. They're going to run out of legs. They're going to run out of legs like every other season. The legs are going to get tired. They're going to run out of legs. Right? They're going to drop games at the end of the season. The same fucking propaganda, fucking rushing talk shit. I'm sick and tired of them. These fucking maggots in the media. They talk shit every day.
I know, mate. David King.
Hey, so you make a prelim. So you make a prelim. You make a prelim, right? You make a prelim. You make the grand final. You win the flag. Then you miss finals just. Then you make another prelim, and all they do is they get on our backs, right? How about every other team that hasn't won a flag for fucking decades? How come he's not talking about Port Adelaide? How come he's not talking about Fremantle's never won a flag? How come they don't talk about Essendon? Hasn't made finals since fucking 18 BC. How come they don't talk about Carlton? How come they don't talk about Carlton? Right? How come it's us that we're too old now? Hey, we've done damage. These other clubs
are going to get the free ride every year, mate.
Yeah.
And this shit every year.
But also as well, it
gets a reaction and it sells papers and it makes people listen to the radio.
But also as well, like with the media as well, how many times have they had expectations of like wanting to shit on us, but then we go into every preseason, what would we say, 70-80% of the reporters in the media, they don't even have us in the top 8, but then we make top 4, and then all of a sudden it's like a failed year, or expectations are it's like a disappointing season, like outside of or was it 24 probably missed finals? Yeah, okay, maybe there's like a narrative there. But it's like if we finish whatever it was, 9th or 10th or whichever position it was, like, I mean, even like this year, like we've got people thinking that we're going to be in the bottom 6. And that's the thing. This year, I can, like, I mean, I don't have any evidence to like suggest that we're going to be top 4 this year. But I mean, how many times have we made top 4? And I know, like, obviously the senior guys are getting older and stuff, but I mean, Fly, like, as much as we do criticize him, he is a good coach. We got the kids coming through. The kids are looking better than ever. Like,
we lost the prelim. We lost the prelim. We're up in the prelim to the premiership side, Brisbane. Yeah. So we were hammering them until we done those brain fades in the third quarter. We come out sleeping, and they smacked 3 goals on us, and we lost our best player at the start of the game. So they're delusional. If they think that we're going to drop off that much, Right, the only thing that's going to kill it.
I feel like every single year for the past 3-4 years, and that's just basing off just that. It could even be longer. Every time, like I'm hearing us through preseason going into the season, it's always, I've got Collingwood missing the 8, and I reckon this is the year they fall off. Like, I mean, if this is the year where it is the year we fall off, I mean, so be it. But at the same time, it's like I feel like you can't have. I just feel like it's really, I don't know if hypocritical is the right word, but it's
you know what?
It's such like it's so just stupid how it's just
bro, you know what?
Expectations of the Collingwood to be out of the 8, they'll finish like 12th or whatever, blah blah. But then it's like we finished top 4, and it's like, they had such a failed season. They didn't win the flag. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. It's like, but you had us at like fucking 12th at the start of the year. So like, how in your eyes, I can understand it maybe not being an A+ or whatever because like we didn't win the flag or whatever. But how is it essentially a failed year? Because I feel like expectations internally compared to expectations externally should be completely different. Because as if you're a football player playing AFL, your mentality should always be wanting to win the flag, win the premiership, regardless if you're North Melbourne or Collingwood or whoever. The goal should always be, making sure that you go and like you then have the flag at the end of the season. But when it comes externally and going, externally the noise should be more realistic in the sense of, okay, well, this is where the list's at. This is how old we are. These are the kids coming through. Okay, it's got a bit of balance, all this up, blah, blah. We should finish at such and such spot. But then it's like, you'll have people, and especially like opposition supporters and media, being like, Collingwood should finish about 12th this year. But then again, we make top 4, we finish 3rd or 4th because we make a prelim. And then it'll be, it's a bit of a disappointing year, isn't it? It's like, well, it's not. You're having us at fucking 12th.
Yeah, but you know the difference is. The difference is they don't talk about it. But you know what the difference is? I don't give a fuck if we don't make the finals. I don't give a fuck if our old players retire because you know what the difference is? The difference is this year the difference is there's guns. There's heaps of guns on the fucking open market, right? And guess what we got? We've got an absolute juicy big war chest of cash, mullah, ready to go shopping. We're going to go to Coles and Woolies and we're going to fill up that fucking shopping basket. And all we're going to do is if we pick up 2 good gun free agents, I'm talking guns. We're talking a Butters, or we're talking about a nice big tall 2-meter forward Kingy. If we can pick up 2 gun players, right, the whole dynamic of our football club changes. Simple as that. You get Butters, and you get Nick in that midfield, and I guarantee ya there's going to be things that you haven't seen before. There's going to be that much distraction. It's not funny. Guaranteed.
Yeah. All right, so then, Manny, are you saying Ben King's a premium option in free agency?
Well, who?
So with King, do you think he's a premium option in free agency?
King from Gold Coast.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure there's been previous years where you've actually not rated him as a premium option.
Because he's a one kicker game man. But if he can bring the ball down. If you could bring the ball down for the small forwards, I'll take him. But I'm not taking him first. I want Butters. If we get Butters,
absolutely.
Yeah.
The best case scenario would be that Buller and West fucking shine this year to a point where we don't have to go for a big forward, and we can just get 2 a gun mid like Butters and a gun fucking Rock of Gibraltar defender, like
who's that Gold Coast guy? The bloke from Moe. We thought we were going to get him.
Humphreys.
Oh, okay.
He's a player that I want.
Yeah. He's Dusty Martin.
But he's contracted for like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I can look that up.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the situation is there. Yeah,
because he really wants to leave. If we go off how he was talking in the trade period.
The only problem with him is he's a bit inconsistent, and I only know this because I fucking played. I played fucking Supercoach last year, and everyone fucking talked him up, and I put him in my team, and he fucking shit the bed. But he's a gun. Like on his day, he'll fucking turn a game.
But also as well, do you know why he's also inconsistent outside of him being young?
Why?
Because he's on the half forward line.
Because he is an explosive inside mid when he hits his prime. How many inside mids? I've just seeing it now. He's 21 years of age. He'll be 22 in September. Tell me a player of that age that is culminating the game, any better than what he is doing right now. Because a lot of even Petrarca was very lukewarm when he was 21. Dustin Martin probably wasn't too far away, but he like a lot of explosive. A lot of explosive inside mids take time, but when they hit, my God, they hit. But it takes them like 6-7 years.
That could be Bo. Bo could be like that.
Exactly. He's probably another one. I mean,
Can I just do a little experiment with you guys?
Yeah.
Just a thought experiment. Everyone's worried about our midfield. I've just drawn up a list here of 13 guys that can play in the midfield this year. Mm-hmm. Now I've got 8, right? And 8 players we know can do the job in the midfield. And on Manny's point, at least 4 of them have got pace. So I'm gonna read out these first 8, right? And half of them are quick and half of them are sort of a bit slow. And this is who we know if we're in a final, any of these 8 guys can go in. Okay, so
just real quick, Humphries is contracted till 28, so 3 years.
We'd have to trade for him.
Yeah, so he'd be a trade.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the guys who you can trust in the midfield. Chris. Now there's older guys in here, and a lot of them won't be in there a lot. But Chris, Pendles, Sidey, DeGoey, Nick Dacos, Josh Dacos, Longy, and Bo. Now, and here's another 6 players who are speculative, but hopefully they will all get a try early on in the year. And it's Perryman, Harry DiMattia, Allen, Angry, Prindable, and maybe even Swadling. So that's 13. That's a lot of depth for potential midfielders.
Did you mention DiMattia? Did you say DiMattia?
Yeah, Harry DiMattia. Now, out of that first 8, you've got Crisp, DeGoey, Nick Dacos, and Bo, who all have pace. So as long as you've got one of those guys in each one of the bounces, you've got a bit of pace in the midfield.
Yeah, in the midfielders, would you consider wing as in that category as well?
They can. A lot of those guys can play on the wing, but those 13, maybe Swadling is more of a winger or half forward. But at least 12 of them are all guys I can see playing on ball in the middle.
Yeah, because if you add the wing, I'd put Ron Steele in there as well too.
Yep.
But he's probably more of a winger.
He's definitely. I like him on the wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can definitely see like a long type year for him. I can how long had that full preseason, and like he just absolutely like bursted out of the blocks. I can see Steele doing the same thing. Not in the way that Long plays, obviously, but just in the way that we just go from, oh yeah, this guy is a bit of a lukewarm player to, oh shit, he's like in our top 15 best players. I think he's going to have a massive leap this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
We only have to have one or two. Yeah. A DiMattia, an Allen, an Angry, a Pritters, a Bow. One of those, we just get one of those guys to come through and we're going to be fine in the midfield. Those guys to work with Josh Dacos, with Nick Dacos, DeGoey, Long, Bow. You know, we've got midfield depth. We just need at least one of those guys to come up to the level.
Were you including guys like Pendles and Sidey in that?
Yeah, and I don't want to see them playing a lot in the midfield. But if it's prelim final and we're a couple of goals down, I'm more than happy for Sidey or Pendles or both of them to go into the midfield.
Yeah, I personally I want to see Sidey as a full-time forward this year, and then
me too.
If there is like 10, 15 minutes, you know, for maybe 2 or 3 bursts, chuck him in the midfield for something different. But I've just got this feeling that if Sidey plays as a permanent forward, he's kicking 40 plus. Like
100%.
it's just his footy IQ and just the way that, like, he's I don't know what the saying is, but he's like a forward. Like he just knows how to be a forward. Like sometimes you just
He's
have
our
it.
best front and center player by a mile.
Yeah.
And he can be our Bobby.
Yeah.
You know, he'll be the Bobby. You know, who needs Bobby? We've got Sidey, mate. You know.
Well, that's the thing. You've also got I feel like Harrison's got
the other person. I forgot to mention Harrison. Harrison could see himself in the midfield at some stages for sure.
It'll take him a couple of years and stuff because I think he's also got to get over the ACL. Not in terms of the injury itself, but I think mentally it takes you about 12 months to get back to
confidence
it as well.
in the knee stability.
But again, if you chuck him on a wing, I think wing is probably like a poor man's midfielder anyways. But yeah, if you chuck him on a wing, we know he's got the explosive speed and stuff, and he's very Hoskin type where he just knows where to be in the right spots. And yeah, his footy IQ is highly, highly underrated.
Yeah,
like that tackle to Nick Dacos against Carlton was fucking unreal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I looked at the injury list, and it's saying Bo's 4 to 6 weeks, so he'll probably miss the first round, maybe. Yeah,
such a shame, isn't it?
That means I don't think they're going to have their eyes on him as a mid. In that case,
not for a while, not till later on in the season.
He'll be playing his usual pressure forward, you know, maybe pinch hitting in the midfield, and hopefully his fitness gets up in the second half of the year, and he, you know, becomes a mid. But
I'm happy for that. Mick, because we've got all these young blokes, and that just opens up a spot in the midfield for someone else. It's all right.
Yeah.
You know,
the only thing I worry about with Bo is like he's starting to have that reputation of being injury riddled. Yeah, it just keeps happening, mate. You know,
like it's always in the midfield too. It's like anytime he needs to turn on the jets, he then ironically blows his jets. Like his jets just blow up. So, I don't know. Is that like? I don't know if that's like, you know, he needs to be a bit more professional in his preparation and stuff, but because we know he's got the ability and stuff, but I don't know, it always makes you wonder, like, if he had like a Pendles type of, like, you know, if he prepared like a Pendles, would he be blowing up his hamstrings as much as he does? I would personally say no, but then again, I'm not an expert in that field. So.
Pendles is not that explosive sort of player.
No, but I'm saying in terms of like if he looked after himself and he did like maintenance and like, you know, like if he did like I don't know, what do you call it, player care, like post game and things like. I mean, he probably does, but like I don't know, because I sort of see Bo as a bit of a Geordie in the sense like I mean I hope this season Geordie's taken it a bit serious in terms of his prep and stuff, but I've never been one to assume that Bo's been. I don't want to say like professional because it just seems like such a slap in the face, but like I just don't know if he's like crossing all the T's and putting the dots in the I's, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, we all know he's not the Pendles type that fucking, you know, looks after his body, you know, like he does. Yeah, Bo's the type that I'll play my 10 years of footy, enjoy myself. And then just
finish out and about, you know, during the week. He's getting photo ops out and about, you know, not in the sauna or something.
Yeah, upgrading his cars and stuff. I mean, it's pretty. I don't know how well documented it is, but I remember when he got drafted, it was heavily implied that it was his brother that had the passion to play footy, but he never had the talent. Like he didn't have enough talent to make the league, where Bo did. So Bo was sort of like playing in the. Which I believe his brother is actually playing locally somewhere in Victoria. Actually, I don't know where exactly, but I'm pretty sure he got picked up by a club. I don't know if it's like local or VFL or something, but pretty sure his brother's moved to Victoria, so that'd be good on him. But yeah, his brother was a lot more passionate for AFL than what Bo was, and there was like a assumption that Bo was mainly playing because it was like to live out his brother's dream and stuff. So,
yeah, guys, I'm just filling out the team here. Just feel free to disagree with some of the guys, some of the people I'm putting in.
I don't know
you will
about Nick
notice.
Dacos. He might need to play VFL. I mean, I don't think the kid does enough.
Yeah. You might notice an absence of a particular Mr. Lipinski. I don't have him in my best 23, man. I know everyone's going to say he's the best kick inside 50. He always hits a target, blah blah blah. But
that's the thing, though. I feel like we need to I feel like we do need to put some tough love into a few of the players. Like even
100%.
if you are like in the bottom 6 or something like that. Because at the same time, like you can also put a Lipinski in the VFL, and that doesn't mean he'll play VFL for the whole season. But if he proves himself, like we have seen him, when he was at the Dogs and stuff in that last year, and he's playing VFL, he was getting 35, 40 touches a game. Like, so I'm just wondering, would that? I mean, players always like hate it and stuff, but like. I could only just imagine if he was to play VFL and he's getting those 35, 40 touches, maybe that might do him like some good just to get that confidence and just to
it's the right thing to do as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, do you remember in 2009 when Mick Malthouse started to jettison those veterans like people like Lockyer and O'Brien and even like it was sort of the end.
It was 2010.
Well, and
I was actually thinking about that the other day.
They were still on the list. Yeah, they were on the list then, weren't they? They were playing games. But
I literally had
new generation, Dane Beams, Sidebottom, Blair, get these new young guys in there, and look what it did to them. They won a flag. I was literally thinking about this the other day because that was basically the vibe I was getting this year where it really feels – because I think it was 2010. 2010, the first half of the year, we had guys like Paul Medhurst, Tarkin Lockyer, I think Fraser was also playing too. We had a lot of these guys that were like playing, and then all of a sudden, I think it was when Jared Blair debuted. You then basically like looked at the side and it's like, oh damn, like all these guys are gone. Like, you've got I think Brett McCaffrey became a consistent player in the side. Wellingham, he was another young guy. Wellingham.
Yeah, it was like that realization. It was about midway through 2010 where you were just like, oh, these guys are not just here just to like make up the numbers. Like these guys, like they weren't coming in because they were like trying to get a charity game. They're getting a game because they're better, or that they were getting a game. Because Void brings up Tuvey. Like I remember Tuvey was very lukewarm, but then he went into the 09 finals, and I think was it Geelong, where I think we played an absolute shit one. But like Tuvey was like the only one that stood up. Like I think he might have even leading. Might have even been like leading at disposal or something. Like he just played out of his skin.
Yeah, and you got to be prepared to make courageous decisions. That look at Leon Davis didn't get a game in the replay.
Yeah,
it's no player is bigger than the side. I'll throw you another couple of names on top of Lipinski who shouldn't be gifted games. I reckon Jack Crisp has been gifted games because they want him to keep that record going.
Yeah.
I reckon he needs to lift. McStay, who's been mentioned, and I'll tell you another bloke who's not in my best 23, and it's Houston, and he will be in the best 22. We all know that. Mm-hmm. But if he's not performing, he can't be gifted a game like he did last year because I've got Parker ahead of him. Much prefer Parker.
Yeah.
And his development is going to be stymied if he's not getting a game over someone who's not performing. So
but also as well when it comes to Houston though, I feel like it's not that Houston has failed Collingwood. I feel like Collingwood have failed Houston because I just don't understand how he's playing halfback or even playing wing. When he was playing at Port Adelaide and he was one of the best players in the comp, he was literally like there to take a NFL term. He was basically playing as if he was their quarterback. And we basically, for whatever reason, we thought throwing Josh down there was a good idea. And then Josh became our quarterback.
But he was already there, though. He was playing there before Houston came.
I mean, I think they were teasing it towards the end of the season prior, but I don't think it was anything that was I don't think it was anything that was cemented. But I don't know. Maybe internally they had it cemented.
Someone got the TV on in the background?
Yeah, it was Kev. I just muted him. I don't think Kev knows that he's on the stage. That's why. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you
thing.
about
Go on. Yep.
You said you're going to say one thing, Nick?
Oh, I just wanted Adrian. He's on stage as well with us. Just want to introduce him. How are you, Adrian?
Yeah, Adrian.
Yeah, g'day, Mick. G'day, Woodsman.
Sorry, mate.
Mate, you're all right. You're all right.
You know how it is, mate. We all just talk away, mate. And I just introduce people in, and that's how it is, mate.
Been absolutely
don't ask for any structure from me, mate.
No, mate. It's better this way, anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So
go on.
When it comes to this whole narrative that Houston needs to be the main man, he needs to be their quarterback. I played most of my footy on the halfback flank, and I played in a lot of other positions, including full forward and forward flank. The hardest position is a half forward flank, and the easiest is a halfback flank. And you've got two of them. There's always two halfback flankers, right? And back pockets can be quarterbacks as well. You don't see people saying, guys like Quainer. As a small halfback, how you get the ball is you just be in the right place when the ball falls, or when a big guy spoils, or when a big guy takes a mark, and you are in the right position. Are people telling me that Houston is getting into those spots and they're not giving it to him? I just never see him running around the back of a pack or running forward into the space and linking up. I think it's back to him, and I just think he wasn't good enough.
He's actually quite slow. People don't know. He's actually quite slow. He doesn't move around the ground that quickly. Yeah. So he struggles to get into positions unless he's absolutely free. He actually struggles to create space for himself, I've noticed. And I reckon that's why he struggled a lot last year.
Yeah. I think this year, they'll say to him, listen, mate, we really backed you last year. It didn't quite work out, but we're confident it's gonna come for you this year. But we can't keep gifting you games. And if he has 2 or 3 games where he gives no impact, they've got to put him back into the twos. And maybe that could be the making of him. Maybe it could be he goes, okay, I've really got to earn my stripes here. What have I got to do to get back into this side? And I think that's the way it's going to have to happen, because we can't afford to have a passenger. And he was a passenger nearly all year.
Yeah. Hopefully Josh goes into midfield and he's our main man coming out the back. Just put him at the back. You don't have to man up on anyone. We're going to give you the ball, and we require you to just fucking hit the targets going forward, and just the way you did at Port Adelaide. Because
moving Josh into the midfield maximises his.
Sorry. That's the way I feel about Dan, because fuck, mate, he's on the big bucks, mate. We're going to see something, mate.
You know what I think will help him? Like Josh going into the midfield, that does help him.
Pendle will be going back to help.
What will really help him is, Pendle's on the half back line. If anyone can bring someone into the game by just putting you out into space with a nice handball or a nice little short pass, it'll be Pendle's, and he'll be able to coach him as well. He'll be able to say, go here, go there, give him encouragement, and that could really help him.
Yeah. What do we think about Pendle's?
Yes.
So he's going to break the all-time record. I think it's going to be around round 8 if he plays every game. That's going to be a huge occasion, huh?
Massive.
Yeah,
And now
it's going to be massive, I think.
Does anybody know how many games it is exactly? Is it
I'm not sure
8, 7,
exactly.
8, something like that?
It's
I saw some. Yeah.
433.
Hold on. I'll look it up.
No,
I think he's
it's
meant
less
to
than
equal
10
it.
games, I think.
Yeah, I think he equals it on Anzac Day or something like that.
Oh wow, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, jeez.
Hold on.
And we'll win on that because every time we had a milestone for Pendles, we've won basically all of them, lost one. So
He's played 425 games. What's the record? Does
I think
anyone
it's
know?
433, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so he needs 8 games to break the record. Yeah. Who are we
433
playing
to
round
break
8? Round 8? Let me
Geelong.
see.
Geelong. That's Hawthorn or Geelong.
Oh, okay. Ah, fuck, we're going to get done.
We need a little bit of an edge against both of those sides, so I hope it is against one of them.
Yeah.
It's Hawthorn, round 8, after Anzac Day. That'll be our eighth game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, after Anzac Day, don't we normally have a long break? Because always leading into Anzac Day, we normally have a short break, but then it's like after Anzac
Depends
Day.
what date it's on. Depends what date
Sometimes
it's on,
it's
right?
the other way around.
Yeah.
So on this team that I've come up with, all right, I've left one spot open in the interchange on the interchange bench. I'll just quickly scroll down. All right, so there's our defenders.
Yep.
All right, our mids. I've put Perryman on a wing. I'm sure just to put him in the starting lineup. I'm not sure where he's going to start. And in the forward line, I've put Buller and West ahead of McStay. And surrounded. Yeah. So we've got Jamie, Lockie, Schultz, Steele, and Geordie as well. We could probably do with another tall there, but yeah. All right.
McStay can't play opening round, I don't think. I think you
Who's
need
that?
to play Buller. I don't think McStay can play opening round. I think you need
Nah.
to play Buller before McStay to start the year. West, maybe not, but definitely Buller, I think.
Yeah. So on the bench, I've got McCreary, Steele, Parker, and Pendles, and I've got one left, and you got to choose from these players there. Is that can you guys read that? Is that too small? Yeah.
No, I can read it.
Yeah.
Can you scroll up a little bit?
Hold on. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
From Ed Allen up to Swadling. There you go.
God, we've got some depth. We've actually got a lot of depth.
I would give Angus Anderson a game.
Yeah.
I'm bringing in Harvey Harrison for me.
Yeah.
I'm putting Harry on the bench and Harrison's on the wing.
Yeah, that's what makes me a bit optimistic about this year. So we're looking at the list of players that are not guaranteed. Starting in the 24 or 23 or whatever it is now, and it's pretty good. We've got some experience, and we've got some good young guys that we've seen enough of that we can say, all right, this player can probably step up, and we've got the new recruits that are looking good too.
There's a whole side there. There's a whole extra side B almost. How much depth? This is we were talking about before about how the media is so negative about Collingwood. Okay, A, they hate us. B, they know nothing about us.
Agreed. They're full of shit.
They have no idea.
So
I don't listen to them. I don't listen to them.
There's no Collingwood people in the actual media when you think about it. No one. So
and the ones that's correct.
Nathan Buckley.
And the ones that aren't biased, like Nathan Buckley and Tony Shaw, they don't just go talking about Collingwood all the time and how good they are. They're very neutral.
They have to be. That's the only way.
Actually, to be honest, the only one that does it is like Eddie. But then anytime Eddie does it, he gets scrutinised. Like the second anything Collingwood related comes out of his mouth.
Yeah. He pulled back, Eddie. He's pulled back on talking about Collingwood at all. I think for that reason, he just gets ridiculed whenever he says anything positive about us.
I think it's just more anything that's like not a popular opinion. It's just people are just so quick to spout. Oh, but you're just so biased Collingwood supporter. But even though if he would have a point, I feel like that's always like the go-to. If it's like, oh, I don't like your opinion, or whatever his opinion was, if they didn't like it, it's always, oh, but you're a Collingwood supporter, so it doesn't matter. So I think,
the only one in the media consistently that I find fair to us when it comes to things like that is Matthew Lloyd. Believe it or not.
Yeah, he's actually pretty.
He's always been like pretty bullish on us and what we've been doing, and his word actually holds a lot of weight. But when you compare it to guys like Kane Corns and that, who last year said we should delist Harry Perryman, that just shows you the depth of knowledge those sorts have.
Yeah. Only Collingwood supporters that have been watching every fucking game know that Perryman was fucking good last year. And whoever says fucking delist him, that's just fucking, he's not fucking watching the games properly, mate, He's just going for clickbait.
Or he's just watching the stats.
Who was he saying to delist again?
Pez.
Oh, that's right. And then he stuck it up and became third in the best and fairest or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Actually,
I'm pretty sure I did a quote tweet on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure I said, watch Perryman be in the top 5 best and fairest. I can just see this backfiring so bad, and I think he might have been like, I think he was like, I think you might be right. I think he was like the,
He came fifth, yeah. But and that just goes to show you can't base anything on the media. You can listen to a select few, and the guys that are fair dinkum. And a guy like Matthew Lloyd, who's always been pretty level-headed about us. I think even Jimmy Bartell, he doesn't really tend to, say anything outlandish. And there's a football brain and a half. When you start going into guys like Kane Corns and that, and they're the ones with sort of the biggest platforms and that. Whenever they say crap like that, you just have to completely ignore it. Simple as that.
It's always funny though, because like whenever Kane Corns says something like that, like I'm always of the opinion where it's like it's not even like it doesn't come across as like genuine. Where it is just the fact that it's what can I say to like get the clicks? What can I say to roll up fans or whatever? It's just I don't know. It's just really just sort of and because because of the way he goes about it, he makes it in a way where it just looks so obvious, and even at times where he even looks desperate. So because like I remember, obviously early days, like when we had Hinovan and stuff when he was playing, that's when I sort of like turned off Kane, because originally like he was obviously a hater of him and stuff, but then obviously when he actually figured out, oh damn, there's actually a bit of backlash here, let me actually watch him at training and see how he goes about it, and then because with Ginny as well, because he embraced like the banter side of it, and he's like, oh, this kid's actually like a good bloke and stuff, and he's actually not that bad. You can tell he then done more research, and then when he did more research, he's like, oh, there's actually a bit of value here. It's like, yeah, well, no shit, like, and obviously, opinions might be different now because he's like left Collingwood and stuff, but like, it's just always, I don't mind it when people have hot takes. I mean, that's one of the things I love when it comes to like footy and stuff, because to hear a take that you're not used to hearing is like sometimes one of the most funnest things to actually do when you're a football fan. But it's especially when you're like a part of the media, it's just so jarring when you have someone like Kane Corns say, oh, I don't think Perryman should be on a list. And it's like, not only is that a bad take, but it just exposes how just uneducated you are on the topic. And I think because he's also a part of media, like I feel like he should be like I'm not expecting him to know the ins and outs of every player, but like he shouldn't be going out of his way. Yeah, like he shouldn't be going out of his way to say things just that dumb and that outlandish. if that makes any sense.
But also too, he was critical of Jason Horne-Francis when he was at North Melbourne. Yet as soon as Jason Horne-Francis cops criticism at Port Adelaide, Kane Corns defends him. So you can't just have your cake and eat it too. You got to be fair on both sides of the argument as well. If you're going to criticize one player of that one club, but yeah, if he's playing for a club that you play for and he's wearing your number that you've worn, you got to be fair to criticize their performance regardless.
Yeah. Can I ask? All right. Can I ask the group and the chat? All right. So out of Anderson, Prindable, and Swadling, who do you think's going to be the best out of those three this year?
I think it's Anderson.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. All the raps are on Anderson.
He's mature age, wasn't he? So he's probably closer to being ready to play AFL.
I kind of feel like if your answer is Anderson, it is a little maybe not cheating's not the right word, obviously, but because he is a bit more of a mature body. And I mean, the fact that we went after Simkin in the trade period, it was very clear that was a need that we needed to fill. And you just look at it, Anderson's a body that's ready to go. We don't need to wait for him in the VFL for 3-4 years. I mean, I've said it to a few people now where you look at Anderson. Anderson is the equivalent of a McDonald's, where a Printable is more you go to a restaurant. You might you go to a restaurant, you're going to be waiting a little bit of time, but at the end of the day, you're not getting Macca's, you're getting a restaurant meal, but you're going to have to wait 20, 30 minutes to get the meal. But if you want something now that's ready, that's like a Macca's, that's where Anderson comes in. But in saying that, I feel, not that I know too much on this, but I have been hearing a little bit in the sense when it comes to Printable, he's really surprising internally. Because they had expectations. They had expectations, obviously, when they drafted him, and obviously they liked him because they picked him up. But I want to say it was around day one preseason, maybe within the first week. I was getting some word that they were really happy with him, and they were like, "Oh damn, this kid's far further along than we thought." So that's obviously a great sign if that's true. And I mean, obviously, you just got to look at the footage and
the other thing.
The
other thing about Printable, Swoop Luke was doing a training video the other day. And he was wetting himself about how ripped Pendles looked. And Prindle came up and was standing next to him, and he was almost as muscly.
Wow.
He is well built, that kid.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell he's been eating the last since November, but I mean, obviously when he got drafted, he was still a pretty big guy or a pretty big kid, but. Yeah, I mean, if there was any concerns about him being physically ready, I don't think anyone should have any concerns now.
This is so good. Brisbane have really done us a favour. Obviously, they've got Riches in the midfield, and they just didn't need him, and it fell in our lap.
Yeah,
because he was an academy player.
Yeah, but no, from some of the things I've heard, apparently they had expectations, and then apparently, it's he's far ahead of the expectations. It's just not even funny. So
so is he your?
What's that? Sorry.
Is he your standard mid, just a ball getter, or is he?
He's based.
He's inside and out, isn't he?
So he's an inside midfielder. He's basically. This is where I got to sort of be careful because I know these ones always come back to bite me. But I mean, I've been saying for a while that he's basically a Tom Mitchell type. Very boring, but he does get the job done. So he's not a guy that's super flashy, but he plays as the inside mid. He'll get the ball. He'll win you the clearance. He's even a poor man's Raul even. Not saying that he's on the same level as Raul, but just has that build, and Again, just like nothing that's like fancy, but it's just a boring player that just gets the job done.
Is it, Shawnee? Isn't he got really good disposal? So he's different in that way.
Yeah, he's actually very clean. He's very clean.
So if you get a very clean inside midfielder, you're doing well.
Yeah. So that's why I always say he's like a Mitchell and stuff. But again, like with the way he's been looking preseason, again, I need to get myself to training, and hopefully that's not too far away because of what I said at the start of the stream and stuff. But yeah, no, I can sort of even see, the fact that even like a Rao sort of type. Not saying that he's going to be like a number one pick type level of Rao, but if Rao was to the equivalent of whatever pick we got him at, pick 30 or whatever it was, that's sort of what you're looking at, like a poor man's Rao, I reckon.
Andreas calls him a Taylor Adams that can actually kick. There you go. The website, Collingwood's website, doesn't even tell you his fucking height, man. Does anyone know his height? It's probably on one of those other sites. Fucking what's that other one with all the stats and shit?
Or like Zero Hanger. I don't trust Zero Hanger.
No, yeah. What about Swadling? What do we know about him?
Do you guys want a what do they call it? A clip?
I've seen a lot of good clips.
I'm ready to say something very outlandish.
All right,
I've seen a lot of highlights from him, and I really like the look of him.
I reckon this kid.
If you make a big call in fucking January, it's worth more, mate. If it comes true, it's worth more. If you make it like the day after he has a good game, it's different. But
this is going to be a take that it's going to be about 4 or 5 years before we can say if it's a good take or not. But this kid, he is a star. Like, he is going to be an absolute star. He's not polished with his like kicking and stuff yet, but the way that he finds the ball, I mean, not to the complete extent, but I'm literally seeing Buckley vibes. I'm seeing Dangerfield vibes.
You're killing me, mate.
Really, like, this is a kid where it's like, I don't care what I see for the next 4 years. Don't talk to me till we're in his 5th year.
Yeah.
But this kid, man, he's going to be so good. Like, I can just see it coming from a mile away. Like this is one of those ones where it's sort of. Do you guys remember Fife when Fife was in his draft year and how thin he was?
Yeah.
This is like a
Fife. Then he bulked up and became a fucking monster. Yeah.
Even what's the dude from Geelong? Max Holmes. Even someone like that. Max Holmes was as thin as anything. But that's the thing. The difference between those guys, though, is when it comes to Swaddling, he's already got the hips. He's got strong hips. And that's always like one of the ones when you look at some of the best midfielders, you look at the hips, and if they've got strong hips, that means they can't get tackled. And normally, more often than not, they're a very good kick. Or they tend to turn out to be a very good kick. So this kid's going to be one of our I don't know if he'd be like the face or whatever, because it'd be pretty hard to replace Nick. But
wow,
obviously he won't do it this year, and as I said, give this like maybe 4 at max 5 years. But this kid's a star. I can already see it.
You can kick on both sides. That's a fucking great thing for a fucking rookie, man. I
will say his disposal efficiency needs a bit of improvement and stuff. And he's even at times he's a bit of a Perryman at times in terms of he just plays to whatever the club wants rather than what he needs to be at his best. So maybe that's the only like issue I have with him, is that if he, kind of like when Howe came over, when Howe wanted to play forward wing, But we just had too many injuries when he came over. We just had too many injuries in the back line. Once he cemented himself in the back line, it was just hard to take him out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can. Yeah, you look at all the explosive mids. Yeah, Buckley, Dangerfield. But just like I don't know if it's like Degoe. It's just pure like roadrunner type. Yeah,
he's like a roadrunner.
Yeah, it's just, but he's also strong. He's not like a, like a. Oh, I'm trying to say this without getting cancelled, but he's basically got very like he's basically got very like his body. You can tell he's going to bulk up into a very thick frame. So maybe that's probably like his test is that he's got to keep his speed while also bulking up as well. But
you know what he's very good at? He's very good at bringing other players into the game via handballs and like big handballs. Like, you know how Ed Allen always tries to do these big handballs, but he handballs to a contest. This bloke just hits people, lace out, running into space with a 20-meter handball.
Yeah. I knew going in that he wasn't going to be like a first round pick. Like when the draft happened, and I knew we were going to get him around like third round. I knew it was pretty realistic that we were going to get him if we were to take him with one of our picks. But yeah, no, we will look back on this draft. I don't know the draft too well this year because I was more focused on the NJ and father son kids. But if he's not in the top 5, maybe if he like doesn't have a clean run, at the very least top 10. He'll be a top 10 player in this year's the draft that just happened. I can really see him being like a real like top end like star player for us. It's just it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, as I said, 4 or 5 years, so he can like bulk up and be physically ready for the role and stuff. But yeah, this kid, he's special.
All right. This kid here, Abdullah has mentioned in the comments, Zach McCarthy. A lot of raps on him, huh?
So McCarthy, yeah, I mean, I do rate McCarthy, but he's going to be one where he's just not gonna. He's going to be a bit of a list clogger for a couple of years.
Yeah, he's a tall, slight, but yeah, you just got to put the time in with him. Yeah,
he's going to be. Yeah, I don't see him doing anything for I don't know, maybe 3 years. But once he hits the end of his 3rd year, 4th year, because that's the thing. He didn't have a big frame, but in the championships, he always found a way to kick 2 goals, and he also did a bit of ruck. Like you just don't. It's really rare when you see a kid like that do what he did.
He's got a.
I find that so strange because I want to say clubs stay away from a kid like that just because it's but he's going to be a list clogger for 3-4 years, blah blah. But that's where you've got to be smart. That's where you've got to be like, hey, this kid's not going to be good for 3-4 years, but we've got I probably can't use Collingwood because they're probably not a good example. But if you've got like a Jeremy Cameron, I don't know how old Jeremy Cameron is, but let's just say he's 32. Let's just say, for example, if Jeremy Cameron plays to his 36, that's 4 years. In 4 years' time, McCarthy will be ready. So that's when you sort of got to be a list manager and go, Jeremy Cameron is an absolute gun of the competition, but we need, when he goes, we need someone to then replace him. So that's when you go, okay, well, we can get a kid in the draft and then hope that he comes good. And then if it then doesn't work out, we can then just go to the trade period or free agency if the kid doesn't come good. Mm-hmm. But you go for the cheap option by getting someone like that in the draft, knowing that if he doesn't play for 4 years, well, you don't care because you don't need him to play for 4 years. You just need him to bulk up. And he's also very athletic for someone. For someone that's 200 centimeters, he's also very athletic. I could see him even being a centre half forward.
That's a good height.
Which is crazy to say centre half, because centre half forwards are not 200 centimeters. And it's a genuine, like, I mean, I'm not going to say he's Jeremy Cameron and stuff, because that's just ludicrous. But like,
well, you said Swadling's going to be Buckley, so there you go.
No, but that's the. I actually believe that. I don't believe.
Oh,
hey Mick, yeah. There's a bunch of highlights on YouTube of Swadling playing in Perth.
Mm.
Okay, I'll check it out.
He just racks them up.
And also as well, not only was he racking them up, he was racking them up in seniors as well. That's another one too. That's like if you can rack them up in seniors and you're like 17. Guys, like when I say he's going to be a star, he's going to be a star. And I know I can pump up a lot of kids and stuff and say that this guy will come good, this kid will come good. I'm telling you now, Swadling will turn out. He won't come good. He'll be a star. Like he'll be
But
he'll be one of the faces along Nick.
Yeah,
but he'll take about 4 years.
But also too, like.
Oh yeah, sorry. With Josh as well. Sorry, I need to get to this. It was 40 disposals. Yeah, I think it was 40 disposals, not 50. You got 40 disposals for about 3 weeks in a row, maybe even 4 weeks, and that was in seniors as well. Yeah, the kid can play. It's just disposal efficiency and bulking up his frame. Once he gets that.
Yeah. Which comp was it?
Perth. So it would have been the
waffle.
Yeah, the waffle.
Yeah, all right. Welcome, Chris Talbot, to the chat. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, good. Hey, everyone.
Hey.
How you going, pal?
Hey, Chris.
Welcome back for another year, mate.
Yeah, good.
All right. Very good, mate. Very good. All right, another one. This pickup snuffed out the son of one of our favourite sons, Mick McGuan. Tommy McGuan missed out because we went for this kid, Saxena. And I've been hearing some good stuff about this kid. What are we going to expect from him?
Do you actually want me to pull up a tweet that I said last year?
What you're going to say he's the next Lee Matthews
now? No, give me a second. I literally said this last year. I mean, you guys can talk because it'll take me a minute or so, but I'll find it.
So
all I know.
Go, Age.
Yeah, I was just going to say, all I know is at the start of last year, it was looking like he was going to go quite high, and then it sort of drifted during the year, and he sort of fell into a list spot in the end. So I don't know if that's just because he didn't progress the way they sort of thought he might, or all I know is he was really lucky to end up with a list spot. So I hope, the sort of junior form that he had in the previous year sort of comes to light, because I think he was a bit underwhelming last year.
Yeah, it's a bit of a free hit. I think it's just we had that last pick and we just got him, and we'll see what happens. And sometimes
he was part of the academy. Yeah, he was part of the academy. So they've obviously seen. See, this is the thing. So a guy like Tom McGuan was part of the academy, and you got a guy like Saxena who was part of the academy. Now Tom McGuan got exposure, and we sort of saw that maybe he's undersized, he's not up to it, he's not strong enough, whatever the reason was. Now, the fact that they've given this Saxena guy a list spot tells you that his ceiling must be a little bit higher. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how he's going to go in the VFL, whether or not that we take the risk of playing him as well. Like, that would be probably huge if we do play him, but again, it depends on if he's leading up in the VFL, I think.
All right, I got it. You guys ready?
Go on, mate.
So for evidence purposes, this was tweeted on the 8th of April last year. There was a
This
quote
is a tweet. This is a tweet from you
in April.
Okay, all right, okay.
So it was a quote tweet because someone basically spoke about how Saxena had 2 goals. I think it was round 2 of the Coast League. Anyway, this is, and I quote, "I'm telling you guys, don't be sleeping on this kid. McGuan and McCarthy are going to be great, but this kid is going to be just as good. Was just as deserving from his stats point of view to get a BOG performance on the weekend. Our draft night's going to be very interesting." When I also said that, he then played the next week. And from a stats point of view, I can't remember how many disposals he had. He had like, I think, 22, 23 disposals. But he ended up kicking 5 goals the week after I said that.
Okay. Yeah.
Just,
now,
very much. I'd say in terms of the player, he's sort of like, he's very, I'd say, he's very Josh Dacos-like in terms of just the way he moves. But I feel like he's his intent's a lot more, not attacking, aggressive. He's got that Nick Dacos like aggressiveness.
Yeah.
So I can honestly see him having a similar path to Harrison, where he might be very lukewarm in the VFL, and then just all of a sudden he just plays. Like he'll get 12, 13, 14 disposals, maybe kicks a goal or 2. But yeah, no, it's a very Harrison type vibe where he's gonna be developing and stuff like that, but it's gonna be a thing of he'll get 1 or 2 goals each week and stuff, maybe 12, 14 disposals. And then all of a sudden we'll just be talking about him playing, and it might take him some time to get comfortable at the level, just like what any other player would be. But no, I think we've gotten an absolute bargain with Saxena.
Yeah.
So,
and it was the right call to get him ahead of Tommy McGuan.
I think so. At this stage, I think McGuan definitely has like talent, but I don't know if you guys read there was an article. Can't remember if it was just before the draft or just after the draft, but Mick McGuan himself even said that it was only just this year that Tom McGuan actually hit the gym. So physically, he'd only had like not even 12 months of like physical prep. So I think with that, as much because I think Mick wanted to prioritize his ball use, just like footy skills in general, and then to physically bulk up later. Maybe similar in the because I guess Josh Dacos was kind of similar in that sense where he wasn't really ready physically. But then obviously, as we know now, he's definitely ready physically because he's an absolute gun. But and that's the thing. I think I even said from the start that when it came to McGuan, I always saw him as a Josh Dacos, which is very fitting. And I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if he even signs up with that VFL side if there's some spots left. I'm not sure if there is any, but I hope he does because he's I think he'll come good, but it's going to take a bit of time.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Mick McGuan has been absolutely fucking superb in his dialogue in this situation.
Yeah,
he could have gotten a bit frosty about it, but he's really like from what I've heard, he's said the right things. It is what it is. It's footy, mate. The club's got to make a decision. That they can't make decisions. From their emotions. You got to make a proper call on these things, mate.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's obviously if he's filthy, like in his own home privately and stuff like that. Because who wouldn't? But like at the same time, like Mick's all class, and I've got a ton of respect for that guy.
Yeah,
you got to remember the evidence was there. Collingwood had him training with them most of the year. He played VFL a few games, so he was right under their nose. So
we saw enough of him. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and also as well, if you watch the VFL games, you could tell physically he just wasn't close in terms of.
He was nowhere near it.
Physically.
Yeah, he was nowhere near it. Now you got to just be honest about it. Even if he comes good in a year or two, okay, well, and we lose him to another club or something, it is what it is. At the time, he was under our nose. We didn't pick him. He wasn't up to it. Simple as that. So, it's just a shame because he's the sort of guy that probably would have been a one club player, if he was good enough and all those things. It would have been awesome, added to the fairy tale. But the reality is the club made the brave choice because it would have been real easy for them just to take him, keep him on the list for 2 or 3, 4 years, like they did with fucking Browns boys. And then at the end of it, you're just like, oh, well, that was a bit of a waste of time, And a guy like Callum Brown ends up playing like 60 games, and you sort of think, how the fuck did that happen? So you don't want the same thing to happen with a Tom McGuan, where you just playing him because of his name, pretty much, and you just waste years,
Well, that's the thing. That's where that's sort of where I've got the sort of like, and obviously it's worked out for us with like Josh, but I'm sort of the opinion, and I'd love to know if you guys agree or don't agree with this, but especially when you had someone like Eddie at the club, I feel like if we had Eddie as our president, I reckon we probably would have picked up I feel like we probably would have picked him up because Eddie would have come in and he would have been, hey, it's Mick's kid. Mick was a legend. We can use him for advertising purposes. It's some positive media attention we can put on the club. We can shake our hands with it and and call it a good day because this isn't because I think Eddie always loved wanting to be the good guy or the superhero with the cape, moving in the wind. So I feel like if we had Eddie, he would have got picked up. Because I would actually be fascinated to know if we're in the same situation. Back in was it 2017 when Josh got drafted? I wonder if Eddie wasn't there and we had the crew that we had now, would we have picked up a Josh Dacos? Because I probably would have said no. But then again, obviously he's because I it's been a couple of years now, but I'm pretty sure I spoke to somebody that was like pretty knowledgeable with the draft scene at the time, and he basically was telling me that Josh wouldn't have been picked up if Collingwood didn't take him because he just wasn't showing enough to get picked up by any club. So I don't know, it's just an interesting topic, I guess, because it just shows that it just seems like the same situation, but it's gone different ways because it's like a different two different eras of Collingwood, I guess.
Yeah.
And now,
go Kev.
Even now, like because Thomas McGuire was trained at Adelaide and apparently he's injured or something or not. What I would do if I were him is I would play in the VFL, I would work on my craft, and therefore you get the knowledge of, hey, Collingwood, look what I've been doing. I'm killing it in the VFL. How about, hey, I'm available if you guys need me, and we could pick him up either in the MSC or we could pick him up in terms of the draft as well.
But that's the thing. I could see it going the other way, where I could even if he gets picked up by a club, I could see him going to the Sample and being in the Crows VFL, the Crows Sample side. Because at the end of the day, would you want to be at a club that didn't have any interest, or would you rather go to a club that wanted you as a train-on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's the question.
Go, Chris.
Well, that's the question I was going to ask. Do you think Collingwood will pick him up next year in the draft?
No.
They
would have seen enough.
Yeah, I think for someone like a Tom, I think physically he's at least probably 3 years away. That's just from even existing on a VFL field. Because he started so late. Yeah. In terms of fitness and in terms of in terms of fitness. Sorry,
you go.
I was just saying in terms of fitness and endurance and running. Like I've been at training and I've literally seen him on Olympic Park, and it's at the ground now. Or, I don't know. It feels like they change the name every week. But anyway, the oval that they train on, I've actually seen him like over the years, like even running laps on that multiple times. So he put in a lot of like effort to like get drafted, and it was very much in Collingwood's eye, like on Collingwood's for like a better word, home deck and stuff. So he definitely wanted to be picked up by Collingwood. Like there was definitely interest there and stuff. But yeah, I mean, if I'm Tom and I didn't get picked up by Collingwood, then yeah, I think the whole. I wouldn't say he obviously hates Collingwood, but yeah, I would. If I was him, I'd be looking at it being like, okay, well, screw Collingwood now. I'll just go to any club that'll give me a chance. So now I think it becomes a thing of like, I'm just going to the highest bidder.
Yeah. If
Because
they saw growth in him, they would have picked him up. That's the reality. Because he was part of the program for 3 or 4 years. All right, they've seen him. They've seen everything about. They need to know about him. They would have seen more about him than any of the other draftees they probably got. That's the reality, and they've probably had tabs on him since he was a youngster. Right?
Oh, absolutely,
even younger.
had tabs on him.
Yeah. So the reality is that they just don't see any growth in him. Now, if he goes on like Billy Pickens' boy at Footscray to be a decent, strong footballer, so be it. But at the end of the day, you got to make the decision at the time, and that's it. And I'm so happy they made the football decision and not the emotional decision.
Yeah,
because, like you said, this Saxena kid, it by all reports, it came down to Tom McGuan or the Saxena kid. Now, in 3 years' time, if Saxena's playing, regular footy and he's starting to show something, while McGuan's playing bloody, up at Keeler or something, no one's going to bat an eyelid at this. They're going to, you know what I mean? But that's the these are the tough decisions you need to make. If McGuan goes on to play 100, 150 games at some other club, then so be it. You just have to say, well, we made the right decision at the time, and that's it.
Yeah.
You just got to live with it, and you can't be bitter if he goes on elsewhere and makes a career out of himself. Because at the end of the day, it might have been the kick up the arse from Collingwood not selecting him that made him great, rather than Collingwood picking him up, and he's probably doesn't have the same, determination to get there, sort of thing. So, you just have to live by these decisions, and I trust that Shane O'Brien and whoever else made the choice knew. They knew what they were looking at.
And Cheese O'Brien.
And also as well, I want to make sure we stress this fact as well. Shane O'Brien knows what he's doing too. I will back him to the hill on every choice he makes, because since he's been at the club, even when it comes to because I think even with like a pitch as well, I think he also has a say in it as well, because being a key position player and that played AFL as well, I think that's also a massive advantage. Because when we had the guy previously, and he was notorious for not picking any tools, and although I do think that he did get a bit of a hard rap, because I think he also didn't have a lot to play with, and I think he did all right for what he had, because he really, at the end of the day, he had crumbs. But anyway, that's another topic for another day.
He botched that Morris pick.
Yeah. Well, that was Hines, so that was his problem.
That's what I was talking about, Hines.
Yeah. Well, Hines was notorious for not picking any key position players, but because there's definitely been a couple that we definitely rated in the draft the last couple of years, and we didn't pick them up, and there's been a couple of half decent ones that are starting to come good. But anyway, that's
that was I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back when they went for Di Matteo over Logan Morris.
Yeah, because that was a. Yeah,
I think Lepper and Hines had a big falling out over that.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I reckon the jury's still in on that. You can't, those kinds of things, you can't like comment on them after 10 years. Look, I know Logan Morris has got 2 flags, but he's got like fucking an A-list midfield fucking, hitting him on the tit every fucking week. Like, I don't rate him as like one of the best forwards in the league. He's just there and he's getting the ball delivered to him perfectly almost. But he's a good player. I'm not saying that.
At his age, for a key forward, he's right up there.
Fair enough. Yeah. Let's get on to.
It was so obvious with Morris as well in his draft. Like you could literally, he was banking 4 goals every game. Like if you were a betting man and you went into one of those cult league games, you would put him for 4 goals, and like you wouldn't even be stressing about your money. But mind you, the odds would have been like $1.10 or whatever for it to happen. But yeah, it was like you could bank him in for 4 goals every game when he was playing for. Oh god, was it Northern Knights? Anyway, whatever team he was playing, you could basically bank him for like 4 goals every week, and like you didn't get it.
Let's go. Going on to Di Mattia, okay? So what was his what was he like when we picked him in front of Morris? Was Di Mattia fucking dominating the midfield in his junior time? Was he just fucking killing it? And we thought we got to get this kid, like, or did the whole of the league, every other team say, what the fuck is Collingwood doing? They didn't pick up Morris,
No, so his stats were actually, his stats were very good, and for the role that he was playing, he was a very good player within that inside mid role. I know, I can already hear the laughter already, but he was, and there's a reason why we gave him number 13, because he was literally Taylor Adams. So I think that's what we probably did is because I think. Personally, I just think because that was the year where Fly was also a part of picking the players as well. I wouldn't, and I remember there was an article that came out when he was getting drafted that Fly was in awe of him because he was basically a bookworm that was just wanting to learn and get better, and like it was this whole positive PR spin that they were trying to do.
Yeah.
And basically like Harry was basically coming in being like, with the club, I reckon we should go in this direction and that direction and blah, blah. And apparently Fly was just in awe of him with like everything. He was basically just, what's the saying, eating out the palm of his hand or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I think the second Harry was like talking, it was already sold at that point, I think.
Wasn't he the captain of the representative side or his own club side?
Oh God, that's.
I reckon he was. I heard that. So he's always been a leader.
Part of the appeal is leader.
So one of the appeals
cricket team as well.
Yeah. So one of the appeals for Harry was more the fact that he was a part of the AIS Academy, which was more cricket based. There was even a Boxing Day test where he even brought out the waters to whoever was like batting on Boxing Day as well. So. With Harry, he's definitely a bookworm and stuff. There's especially as well if you look at a ton of videos. He's always got a book in his hand, wanting to learn. So
wow, that seems surprising because when the club puts out those clips where the players are interviewing each other in the rooms and shit, and they go up. I remember last year they went up to Harry and he just came across as the biggest fucking bogan I've ever fucking seen in my life.
Well, that's the thing. I think Harry's the type of I hate like talking about players like this, but like Harry's like probably one of those ones where he tries hard, and he gets a gold star at the end of the day. But we all know what gold stars really are if you're ever in the school system. So massive gold star, Harry. Gold star for effort. But no, I mean, I personally, I hope he comes good and stuff. And
we all
when Titch went into the midfield in the VFL, it was kind of interesting because the second Mitchell was in the midfield, it was as if it was just a night and day difference. Because pre Mitchell in the midfield, he was like very ordinary, and then all of a sudden Mitchell rocked up and then Harry was averaging like 25 disposals in the midfield and like whatever it was, 6-8 clearances and stuff. And it's like, Okay, like if that's what gets you to get clearances and disposals, then great. But still doesn't
And
make
what
any
about
sense.
on his disposal? Is that the weaker part of his game? Is that's something he needs to
Butchers
work
the
on? Isn't it?
footy. Butchers
Yeah.
the footy.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the disposal efficiency that much when it comes to VFL, just because I never really had those stats. They only just brought it in last season, so. But yeah, no, he's never really been known for his kicking. As I said, he's basically I hate to say it, but he's a clone of Taylor Adams.
Yeah, see, I worry for him and Allen that the midfielders we've brought in, especially because two of them are ready made, and Swaddling might be in a year or two, is that they're going to go past them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I can't say no when it comes to Swaddling because of what I said before. But...
he will eventually. But on having said that, this should make Allen, Di Mattia, and even Long work harder on their game, especially their disposals, because all three of them can get the ball, but that's the area they struggle in is the disposals.
I mean, for me, I think Long's a lock in our best 23. If he's not in there, I think we're in big trouble. But
I do too. Even someone like Long, if Anderson can come in, he's as tall as Long. I think he's 6'2", 6'3". If he can do what Long does, but get more clearances and have better disposals, he could put pressure on Long's spot.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's exactly what we want.
All right, I'm going to move on to two players that the word
190 centimeters, Anderson.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to mention these two players. The word around the traps is that they've bulked up big time, and I can't wait to see it. And they're similar types. Joel Cochran and TJ TUGF, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Start with Joel Cochran. Apparently he's put on the fucking kilos of muscle. I liked him in the what I saw of the VFL last season. I liked what I saw. He was really skinny, but he looked good. Moved well. It'll be good to see him with the extra added bulk. And Voidoid's just said in the chat he'd like to see Cochran replace Howe. Cochran he's in the 195, 194, about that height.
Yeah, 195.
That's a good height, man.
Yeah.
That's a good height for a Howe
it's definitely a genuine height for a key defender.
Yeah.
Getting to sort of Harris Andrews sort of stature.
Yeah.
Just because he's good if he turned into him.
Harris Andrews is nearly 200. I think he's 199, I think, from memory.
Yeah, he's big.
195,
right.
There you go, on the Collingwood website.
Hey, do you think with it, just a real quick one, a bit of a wide segue, but do you think with the new ruck rules that Darcy Moore's a chance to get put into the centre bounces every now and then?
I wouldn't be against it.
He can leap.
That's been said for years, and look, it could happen, but it just seems like he's on the wrong side of 30 now, and to start experimenting with him in the ruck now, and look, with the new ruck rules, all right, you got to have a leap, but around, I would say there still needs to be a bit of strength there, and I just think he'd be monstered in the ruck.
Just for the centre bounces. I'm just thinking for the centre bounces, and then let Cameron do around the ground.
Yeah.
Potentially that could happen, but I think we've got Buller, who can pinch
Buller to do the second ruck.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to Darcy Moore, I'll mention this again. I've been wanting him to swing forward for a long time. So if I don't get my wish, then you guys don't get your wish of him being a ruck. So
yeah, we're certainly lacking key defenders. So as much as it frightens me to have more in the back line,
we
don't have many other choices, do we?
No.
No, we don't.
Do we
Unfortunately.
sort of agree with the sentiment when it comes to more as a defender? I mean, obviously, I know he's like 202, 203 centimeters, whatever it is. I think he's better being a halfback than he is like a key defender. Like, I see him playing as like a noble than a key defender. Like a guy that plays halfback, takes the game on, gets aggressive. Because whenever he goes to like a contest and he's not like the third man out to, sort of be the extra man in defense, just sort of get that easy ball. I sort of feel like he becomes a better player once he's like the extra. Sort of
for sure.
in the same way as like Howe even. Like he could play a Howe role a lot better than like, being like a Frampton, for example.
He is more of a second or third key forward that you put him on. Once you free up Darcy Moore with Billy Frampton as the main man, I think that frees up Darcy Moore more. When we've had Frampton up forward, you put pressure on Darcy Moore being the number one key defender. He's more of an intercept marker and then run and go type of player, where Billy Frampton, he does the job on the big key forwards. So
he's so important.
Yeah,
I have outside of Dacus and Cameron, I think Frampton is our next most important player. Just for if we lose Frampton, we're in trouble.
It means more has to go on the monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that basically means a key forward is kicking no less than 6 goals every week.
Yeah. And that's why I'm surprised they didn't actually get who was the Richmond kid that they delisted, the key defender that we had a bit of interest in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't pick him up, huh?
I'm surprised by that because you're right. If Frampton goes down, there's no option other than to have Moore as the key number one defender, and we saw how that goes. So, I mean, unless there's someone sitting in the wing,
I was also more surprised too because I believe, and I mean, I'm going off information that I haven't thought about for months now, but I'm pretty sure he wanted to come to us or we chose him, but then we decided like within 2 weeks or whatever it was, but before it came time to decide like if we were going to commit, we ended up not committing on him. So apparently we said no instead of him saying no, which if that's true, I find that bizarre because like
it does. We need backup, man. Yeah.
If I were Collingwood, you look at House potentially, you look at a Reef sort of type where, or even Smith, even we get Smith as a key defender and he does a bit of ruck. We gotta start looking at these sorts of guys who can play in defence, have got the height for, because if Billy Frampton does go in, get injured or he ends up retiring, whatever it is, then we're screwed for the next couple of years. But now's the time that we start playing Smith in defence. We start playing House or potentially Smith, maybe McStay potentially down back.
Yeah. Look, and that's a good point, Kev, because if Frampton goes down, Smith, he's very green. Howes, he was playing forward in the reserves last year, so big ask for him to go back. McStay, we've seen McStay when he plays in the ruck, go in the back and play that Darcy Cameron intercept role, and he's been adequate, but can you see him as just a standalone defender? He'd be the pick if you had to choose out of those three.
Yeah.
So it's fucking scary, if Frampton goes down.
Oh, no. I think, you know what, whoever mentioned it before with McStay, that literally could be the option.
Yeah.
We looked at Stephen May by all reports, but he failed a medical and he's a fuckwit. Adam Tomlinson we had a little look at, who I think was past it, and maybe they sort of saw that as well. Obviously that Richmond kid who whatever happened there. So you know what, the most obvious fill-in for the short term is probably a McStay, to be honest. He's versatile enough, and he's useless in the forward line. So you know,
May as well. Yeah,
Just make
may as well.
Well,
And
even that forward line too. We could put Buller, we can put West in there, and Membry if we really need to, and we could have McStay in defence as a backup option. So we do have options around if we can't rely on McStay out forward. Definitely.
Yeah. And the thing is, look, it's an absolute given that Jeremy Howe will miss games this year. Yeah, either being injured or being rested.
Absolutely.
And earlier on in the chat, Andreas said that Cochrane, he's tipping Cochrane to be out of all the kids that haven't debuted yet, Cochrane will be the first one. And if he's bulked up and with his height, I've got to agree with Andreas there that knowing that Howe will not play some games, that Cochrane will probably be the first one that comes in.
Yeah, I heard him saying
and,
that. Now the other thing is Moore and Frampton will also miss games as well.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
There's also a question also saying that if we think Smith will make it as a league footballer, which obviously if he plays seniors, he's sort of an interesting one because I can sort of, I mean, I feel like it's going to be a really interesting end of year for us this season because I don't think there's too many guys that are like too obvious in terms of who we're going to cut. And I could really see there'd be a few players that we may not even like cut them, but we could even like trade them off. Like even like an Ed Allen, I could see him not getting games and he could potentially go to another club. So he doesn't necessarily get delisted, but he gets like traded. It's just even like Smith, like I can see Smith not being there at the end of the season, but then that's like a rookie spot. So it's going to be really tough at the end of the year. Like there's going to be some unlucky guys. Like even like Smith. I guess it depends on what we do from a off-season point of view. Like if we go after someone through trade, or if there's a kid in the draft that looks half decent as a key defender. We do have Max Christian, who's a father-son this year, and he's a key defender as well. So I wouldn't bank on him being any good at this stage because he hasn't really shown anything. But that is one if he does come good, because a lot of these kids, especially if they're key position, sometimes they don't do anything till the second half of the season. And I think he's a December born or November born, so that makes it even less likely he's going to stand out. So, because if you're a key defender and you were born in December, like you're literally you're basically a fresh 18 pretty much when you're getting drafted. So, compared to being halfway through your 18th year and like when say Nick Dagos got drafted, he was born in January, so he was essentially like a month and a half away from being 19. So that's how far he was into his age when he got drafted. So, it doesn't seem like it's a big thing, but it's just evidence shows that it is. So, like I think even Mateus Philippou, I think, was born in December, and he was touted to be like a top 3, top 5 pick, but because he was born in December, he ended up going to St Kilda at like I think it was like pick 10 or something. But if he was born say a month later, he would have been in the years after draft, and he would easily have been top 3.
Yeah. So it's Max Christian next year, father-son eligibility. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I think it's Max. Max is his first name. Yeah, because we had Nick Christian.
Yeah,
that was a couple of years ago. That was like 2 years ago.
What about Ted Fraser?
Oh man, some of the things I'm hearing about Ted.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's already God, what was it? He's already like 6'5".
Yeah.
No, it was a six. Oh, it's it. Yeah,
And that's why, yeah, that's why Josh Fraser went to left, because he doesn't want to, be around and be in the way kind of thing. Yeah, because he knows we're going to get him.
Yeah, the opposite of Silvani.
Yeah, the only thing I will say, because I just don't think it's that big of a deal, was that he didn't play the under-16s championships for Vic Metro. But that can be very common because it is under-16s. And he's a ruck. He'll probably be a ruckman, maybe a key forward, something along those lines.
Yeah.
If you're too raw, like if you're very thin and you just don't have a frame, you just won't get picked up, even if you become a top 10 pick later on. Because otherwise, you'll just physically break down. Because some of them, if you tackle them hard enough, they'll just snap in half. So we don't want that. But I spoke to. I had a friend of mine that spoke to one of the players that played for Vic Metro in the under-16 side, and the way that I was told in terms of how he spoke about Fraser was like he was really talking him up and saying that he's actually like the kid was saying that he's the Ted was like one of his is one of the players he was most excited to play with. Yeah. So there's even like hype around the. Well, obviously, I only spoke the person that spoke to the that player. I believe he was captain. I think maybe that narrows it down to who it was. I don't know who the kid was, but I mean, we can also talk about Max and Marcus as well. They're starting to come along too. I think they're 15, 16.
Who's that? The Rocker cousins?
Yeah, the Rocker. The
Rocker cousins.
I think I think Max is Anthony's kid, and Marcus is Sav's kid. I actually had with me and friends. I had a friend of mine. His kid was playing in one of the tournaments, and Max was playing on the other side, which was Anthony's kid. And he's a massive Sydney Swans supporter. And when he spoke to me about it, he was just basically like, "Oh my God, Collingwood have got another one here." And mind you, like that could be like a whole range of things and stuff. But apparently, Max had a good game and stuff. And I think he was a forward ruck from memory. But this is there was like a year ago, 2 years ago. Yeah. And I just remember him just like saying, he was like, "Fuck, they've got another one."
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you think Michael Christian's son, do you think he'll develop better if we play him in the VFL for the whole season? So
it's
therefore
when you're in your draft year, you'd be lucky to get like 3 games.
I think 3 games is the cutoff, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's a rule. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a rule because even someone like a Harley Reid, if he was to play VFL in his draft year, he would have. I reckon that's actually the thing. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be against the AFL even having a rule with some of these guys because I think at the end of the day, if you really want to develop these kids into serious players, have them sign up to some VFL teams because at the end of the day, it's only going to make those kids better, which then makes AFL a better product at the end of the day.
Because that's what I was thinking with Michael Christensen's son. Like, play him in the VFL, see how he goes, and if he does well, you can pick him up as a father-son.
Yeah, or you can even throw them to the standalone teams. So even up the competition better. Because there's already a rule where I think the standalone teams get twice as much cap space as the AFL clubs. Why don't you just make it even? But the standalone clubs have access to draft talent. Just make it a bit more exciting that way.
All right, guys, I'm going to put it to the board in the chat. All right, from the players listed on the screen that we've deemed outside the best 23, which one is going to perform the best in 2026? All right, I'm gonna start off. I'm going to say Will Hayes. All right, I liked what I saw in his little cameo last year. I'm going to say Will Hayes is going to be the one that shines the most out of those players listed out there. And just with Bobby Hill not around, and could open up an opportunity for him. He can probably play on a wing as well. I'm gonna back him in. I could go Rowan Steele, or I could go someone else like Harvey Harrison coming back from his knee injury. But I'm going to back in Will Hayes out of those players. All right. Greatness.
I reckon.
Sorry,
Oh,
Age. You go, Age.
No, you're right.
Yep.
I was just going to piggyback on the Harvey Harrison. I think
Yep.
people forget what he was doing for that brief period there.
Yep.
He slotted in seamlessly, and he was impressive pretty much straight away. I think
He
the
was
injury
smart.
was just the absolute worst time. The injury. The Anzac Day draw in our shit year, he was sensational in that game. I remember. Well, I watched him closely, and there was only I don't know, handful of games, and I'm just like, oh, this kid's got something. I wouldn't be surprised if honestly, he's probably not going to be 100% fit, but it would not surprise me if he's in there by like round 5, and it's just like, wow, it really wouldn't surprise me. So
yeah. Who do you reckon greatness?
There's actually the one thing I really like about this list is that there's a lot of like solid options. Like you just look at these lists, and the fact that that's our VFL team, you just look at it and just go, "Oh, damn!" Like our VFL is going to have a good year.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a bit of a psycho for boring players that just get the job done, like a Tyan Printable, especially with just seeing some footage of him at training, just how big his frame is and stuff, and the fact that I don't know if he's 19 yet, but the fact that he's like potentially not even 19 and he's got that big of a frame is just wild to me. And just, he's just like a no-fuss footballer, and that's probably the one that sticks out. I mean, I'd love Steen to be the guy, but Printable's the one that's like really standing out right now.
All right, so you're saying Printable. All right. Mello in the chat reckons Rowan Steele. Matt?
Yeah, true.
Matt? You there, Matt? He's watching the tennis.
Yeah, Harvey Harrison, I said earlier, or are we picking another
player?
Did
you? Yep. Sorry, mate. Yep. All right. Benny Zero, you still with us? Benny's probably watching the tennis. Kev?
This couple, I reckon, could be Harvey Harrison and potentially Harry Dimitimo.
All right. You can only choose one. I'm going to put down Harrison for you. All right.
Yeah, Harvey Harrison. I think.
Benny in the chat's saying Harrison as well. All right. Chris?
I like Angus Anderson. What I've been seeing at training, I like him.
All right. I'll tell you what, with that list there, that's our VFL team pretty much, yeah? Now, I know we don't watch all these other teams, like all the other teams, but, fuck, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good list to be playing VFL week in, week out. So we should go well, I reckon.
And there's even some guys on the VFL list that are half decent, like Oscar Forkhead.
Yeah.
I think he was originally from the Gold Coast. So I think he also played at Geelong as well. He's actually not too bad. We got Pez's brother as well. He's another good one. Teagle, if he's playing VFL, that's a solid get. That's a solid ruck. Just trying to think of anyone else. So not only is it that list there, but and then if you think of some of the guys before, like the brothers, the Marnie brothers. They had really good years last season, so
yeah,
it's looking like a pretty good year. Our list just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, it'll be good to watch the VFL this year with, just looking at that list of players there. It's like, it'll be, a lot to, like, it's more enticing, I reckon, than watching from last year,
I feel like it's been growing. Is this the third season where it's steadily been, the list has steadily been improving, like the VFL list.
Yeah.
It's been steadily improving year over year for about, I think this is the third year now. Do we know with Charlie McCartan? I know he's a development coach now, I think, at Collingwood. Do we know if he's playing VFL as well?
Yes,
he is. My God, I forgot about my boy as well, Will Phillips. Yeah, Will Phillips is playing this season. God, I completely forgot about that.
So he's on our VFL list, huh? Oh.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Who's Will Phillips?
He was from North Melbourne.
Yeah. Is he a key position?
No, he's a mid.
Right.
Think about it's not a good comparison as a like terms of position, but he plays a lot like Joe Richards. But if Joe Richards was like a midfielder,
right,
just very clean, very he's like center of gravity is really good, so very good below his knees, gets the handball out, very very high IQ. Played at Oakley in his draft year and massive Collingwood supporter too.
Nice.
Also, there's now Channel 7 covering the VFL as well. So
it's all on the AFL app, isn't it?
Yeah, still on the AFL app. Just thought I'd say that, mention that in case people have not heard about it.
Yeah, but no, Phillips has been a name I've been looking at for a couple of years because I mean, for those who aren't familiar with Phillips, he was the guy that, in my mind, he did tag Nick Dacos out of the game when we played North Melbourne at Marvel when we came back from being.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
So he literally tagged Nick Dacos out of the game, and then the idiot subbed him out, and then we won the game.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. So
and Dacos won the game for us. Nicky won the game for us in the second half.
So Clarkson, if you're watching this, thank you.
Thank you, Alistair.
See you, Benny Zero. I think I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon anyway, man. But before I do that, I just want to say two players that we've talked about pretty much every player on the list, I reckon. But one player I just want to touch on for a little bit is Will Parker. Now, I'm sure we'll all agree we loved what we saw last year with him. And I can just see him stepping up and becoming a regular for us. Thank God he gave up leg spinning and took up the footy. So I reckon, he'll cement himself. It could be as a defender, maybe, help out on the wing maybe. But,
it's just really crazy. Because this thing, when I mentioned Time Brendable, then I heard everyone else have their picks. I reckon half of them I was like, oh, damn, I didn't even see that guy on the list. I probably would have picked him over Brendable.
That's like I forgot Harrison when I mentioned all those. I had 13 midfielders and I forgot Harrison.
Yeah, the depth is insane. Massive shout out and thank you to Shane O'Brien because that guy, he's going to be I don't know if we want to say lifesaver, but he's going to be doing incredible things. Actually, he's got a kid that's coming through. It's a fair while away. I think it's like the 29 draft. But he's got a kid, so hopefully he doesn't do a Josh Fraser and go to another club. But because God, we don't need him to leave.
Yeah. All right, the last player we haven't even talked about once tonight, Lockie Schultz, the Renaissance man. First year we all fucking hated him. There's always the odd person that said, "Yeah, I stood by him," but I don't think anyone stood by him, mate, in that first year. Oh yeah, everyone's gonna say it.
I mean, I literally actually I've got a funny story if you guys want to hear it.
Go on.
We literally had a guy that was going for a board spot, like I don't know, I don't even give a fuck what the dude's name is, but he was just trying to make a point on Twitter, so he gets my Twitter points. And I just the way he was going about it, I just hated the way he was going about it, because he was basically just being like, oh, Lockie Schultz hasn't been good enough, blah, blah, the club needs to do this, the club needs to do that. Just a lot of like armchair expert type just shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, dude, because this was like the first year, so we're like 3 months in or whatever. So into the season. So I was just like, hey, just like, it's been 3 months, calm down, like, he will come good. Like, it's this is a player we got for like 5-6 years, not 3 months. So relax.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I'll still even say for the back half of his first year, I thought he actually picked up like a bit of form. And then the second year, obviously, we saw how good he played and stuff. So, I mean, I'm super keen for this year and stuff. Obviously, it was tough the first year and stuff. Like, how can you not, like, sort of like, not cringe? I'm trying to think of a better word than cringe, but like, it was hard to watch at the start for sure. But like, you just know that, for someone like myself, I knew that his previous 2 years at Freo, he kicked over 30 goals for the season. And even when he left Freo, a lot of Freo fans like, oh, damn, like, we've actually lost a good one, sort of thing. So there was always a lot of signs, because, like, there's always, I feel like if you get little signs like that, like if the opposition fans are sad that a player's like leaving and stuff, I feel like that's always a good sign, because a lot of times when they do leave, they always say, hey, get stuffed, we never loved you in the first place. But when you have some fans that are like, no, like, this is a loss, this is going to hurt, it's like, oh, okay, this actually like might be something. But no, it was basically a guy that was like trying to get on the board, because he was like trying to go for one of the elections and stuff, and it was basically criticizing that trade and stuff, and basically was telling him to relax and take a chill pill, and it was too aggressive, and he was just attacking the club for it just didn't feel like it came from a place of love. So I just sort of tried to put him in his place a bit, and even he was clapping back, like laughing at me, saying, oh, you reckon the trade was good and blah blah. And so I'm not saying it either way, but just give it time. And then it came good, thankfully, but I don't know, I just don't have time for people that want to I don't know, that just want to use the club for their own personal ego and gain, if that makes any sense. It's just
So after 2 years, all right, because we got to admit, fucking Ginny's fucking done it right at Hawthorn,
yeah.
He's been all right. He's probably better than he's played with us,
I wouldn't say he's been consistent, but for the games he's played well, he's been very serviceable.
He still has his games where he doesn't fucking touch the ball, but he always bobs up for fucking 2 goals, man.
Yeah. But that's also the role of a small forward, though. Like, that's like, I mean, even with Hill, like, whenever he had his good games, he'd kick 4, but then he'd go missing for a month. So that's just, it's sort of the territory you sort of got to cop when you're getting small forwards, unfortunately. Like, it's really rare you get like a Charlie Cameron that kicks 4 every week.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump off, go watch a bit of Novaks with the missus.
No worries, pal. I'm gonna
having me, mate.
No worries, Matt. No worries, pal. You have a good one,
later,
all right?
guys. Yeah, go Pies.
See you, mate.
Bye.
All right, gentlemen. It's been an absolute fucking pleasure. The usual 3-hour plus marathon, which is great. More of these will be coming as the season gets closer. It's been a pleasure talking to you, man. Thanks, all of your greatness. Thanks, man. Kev, Age, Chris, Benny, all the boys, everyone that joined, Matt. Manny made his cameo earlier. It was a good night.
It was.
And it's going to be a great year, man. We're going to have some laughs this year, man. I'll be doing just as we did last year, man. Fucking after the games, we'll fucking vent. Man, it'll be great. It'll be good. So, anyone want to add any last things?
I would say go Pies. Hopefully, it's a better year for everyone, and I want us to really be top 4 again and prove these haters wrong, and so we can shove it up them. You know.
Yeah.
We always get written off every year, but yet we continue to impress. You know, so looking forward to the season ahead.
Yeah. I'm gonna go watch a movie now. I'm gonna make a choice between F1 or One Battle After Another. Which one should I watch? Have you guys seen any of those?
I've seen F1. It's good.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, I heard that the racing scenes are really good, and I've just got a nice setup in my lounge room now. I just got a new tally, so yeah. F1 is great. Yeah, all right, I'll watch F1 on your recommendation, Kev.
All right, cheers, man.
All right, gentlemen, and the guys in the chat: Mallow, Voidoid, Josh Jacobs, Stephanos. Apologies if I've forgotten anyone, but it's the usual suspects, and it's great. You know what we're doing here, and I don't know when I'll do the next one. Probably in a couple of weeks, maybe. And we'll go from there as the season gets closer. The anticipation gets better. We'll get you all in maybe in a couple of weeks. We'll make some big predictions. See. And I'll write it down for prosperity. We'll make our predictions for the year. Where the Pies are going to end up and stuff. I won't say it now. We'll save that for the next one. So thanks a lot, guys, and have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too, mate.
Yeah,
You too.
absolutely.
See you guys. I'm going to end the stream right now.